Hello, and welcome back to the Contraband, where 6 Shakespeare actors play Blades in the Dark. This show is produced by Ghostlight RPGs, a collective of theater artists keeping the lamp lit even when theaters are dark. If you like what you see, feel free to follow or subscribe. Subscribing helps us bring you to these new and exciting worlds, and following helps you get notified of when the train leaves for those worlds. Train is metaphorical, the worlds are sort of metaphorical. Anyway. I'm Ted Bushman. I'm the game master. Joining me on this tale of railways and rescues, bodies and bullets, scuffles and scrapes are Jamie Hansen, Ben Isaacs, Kristen Perkins, Graham Ward, and Carson Wright. My pronouns are he, him. Everyone, introduce yourselves. Jamie.
Hi, my name is Jamie Hansen. Pronouns are he, him. I am playing Varric Lomond, the princeling, slide, talker, and generally just a happy-go-lucky guy. Varric Lomond is also he, him.
Nice. Yes, and then our next person, Ben.
My name is Ben Isaacs. He, they are my pronouns. I'm playing Hix Templeton, the faded hippie spider.
Awesome. Kristen.
Kristen, she, her pronouns. I play the girl. And does it say the girl now, or does it still say?
I think so, yeah.
Who goes by many names and is the young lurk searching for an identity or not.
Yes, very mysterious. Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham Ward. He, him. I play Bram Borden, also he, him. Bram is a greasy, beat-up, sad fellow with lots of trauma.
And Carson.
Wonderful. I'm Carson. He, him. I play Aldo Basran, also he, him. And Aldo is a former military field medic turned curious tinkerer and healer, blower of stuff up. There's a lot of words to describe this, but
yeah, with sort of a loose connection to the Hippocratic Oath.
Oh, loose indeed. But yeah.
Amazing. I only take issue with one of those things you said. Do you think Hix is faded? I think of him as quite vibrant. I mean, your call, of course.
Oh, I meant faded in
like destined?
Perhaps as Drake would use the word, or perhaps Kendrick Lamar might use the word.
Oh, I see.
In that under the influence of cocktail of their own.
Great.
Makes sense.
In a lexicon beyond my understanding. I love it.
How do you describe Hix, really?
Man.
Yeah, exactly. He's beyond description. He's an unknowable miasma. Yep.
He's just faded currently. And most of the time, yeah.
Now, those who have been watching, or for those who are catching up or joining us without being fully caught up, the crew spent much of their last session pursuing personal and professional goals, innovating, going out to dinner and dancing, digging into the occult. But everyone's goals were interrupted by a desperate message from the Railjacks, who were one of their business collaborators. And they had a need to get 2 bodies out of sight of the Ministry of Preservation. One of them, Peter Chain, is alive, and the other, a ministry official, is dead. Killed during a union negotiation. A few hours later, the crew is scattered in a tenement neighborhood in North Night Market, cornered by men and women wearing Sparkcraft apparatuses that allow them to manipulate electricity. Aldo set off a bomb that trapped a squad behind a wall of fire and rubble. The girl grabbed Peter and started climbing up the side of a building using her incredible reflexes and speed. Meanwhile, over the neighborhood speakers, normally designed to broadcast work alarms to the Railjacks, came the voice of Ruthus Enjim, the chairman of the board of the Ministry of Preservation. Now, just for both the audience and the players, the scope of those speakers is not all of Night Market, which is a district that holds thousands of people. This is about 3 to 7 blocks that are getting this broadcast. So a few hundred people are sort of hearing Ruthus Enjim make claims about the crew's dirty laundry. Now, the question remains, how will the crew escape? And with so many eyes watching them so closely, what happens next? Our content warning. The Contraband is a crime drama set in a dark and unpleasant city. Episodes will almost certainly contain strong language and violence, and may also occasionally include sex, oppressive working conditions, ambiguous portrayals of religion, villainous characters freely sharing their ethics, and encounters with the gruesome undead. So, brace yourselves for the lightning and descend with us into the Contraband. The Sparkcraft speakers that hang from the corners of the tenement buildings thrum to life again with a blast of feedback. A voice comes through. This neighborhood is under curfew by order of the Ministry of Preservation. Please stay in your homes. This message then begins to repeat. A question for all of you. How do your characters conceal their identities while on a job? Like, are you wearing like face masks? Do you have like goggles? Like, how do you guys do that? You don't have to do it. I'm just curious if there's a method.
We've never discussed it.
Yeah.
No, I've never imagined that.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never.
I mean, a thin veneer of blood, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
good.
no, I mean, for Bram, he wouldn't make any effort.
A little bit of shaggy hair like over his eyes. Yeah.
He would probably be unrecognizable from anyone who knew his name other than the crew. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just because he's so changed from his former life.
Yes, absolutely. And also, in this situation, Bram is wearing a full, like, semi-nobleman suit. Like, you took the suit off of the ministry official and put it on.
Yes. My question is, how does that interact with my load?
I
had a heavy load. So now I guess maybe I've taken some of that gear off and I put the clothes on and then put some of the gear on.
Yeah. I would imagine, like, maybe you have an overcoat that allows you to hold a lot of the stuff that you already had before, and like maybe rewired some of that smuggler's rigging that you have. So I think.
Yeah, and a heavy load for me, I think, looks like a normal load. Correct.
Exactly. Yeah, because of that perk that your crew has. So I think I don't think it should have a functional difference because you had you had time to change into it. Like if you were doing it in some speedy thing, I might say, oh, let's take two dots off your inventory. But I think that's fine. I think let's keep your whole inventory as you've got it. Okay, great. So Bram's definitely not disguised. Anybody disguised in any way? I know that we've talked about blacks for the girl.
Yeah, so the girl has sort of like thieving, she calls them her thieving blacks, I call them her thieving blacks.
Yeah.
So just like very tight, skin tight to the ankles, to the wrists, but with a new upgrade so that I do have like a dress corseted that I could use a pull tab and just have it sort of bloom around me. But I am currently in thieving blacks with sort of a cap, a black cap. And the girl also just has one of those faces. Like it looks different and different. It looks different in motion. It looks different, depending on what character she's sort of inhabiting. She doesn't have very many distinguishing features.
Sure. Just, one of those faces.
Just one of those faces.
No. Anybody else? Any thoughts on?
No, I feel like Hix is probably just like, if the cops are gonna bring me in, then I'll deal with that. And if not, I don't really want to worry about dressing up for this. I don't know.
Indeed, yeah. You don't have a dress code. Like this is like why you got into crime, so you wouldn't have to have a dress code.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what we fight for.
Yeah.
To wear what other people tell me. I love it. Varric, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, I would assume Varric. Varric assumes that anybody who would recognize him would not look twice at him if he's not wearing like the finest fashion.
He's just
so he's
completely out of his element. Yeah.
So he's wearing like kind of what happens when if you spill something on like a particular shirt and it becomes your workout clothes or like your workshop outfit. Like he's wearing some of his really nice clothes, but they've got some little tears, and so from his perspective, like
they're ruined.
They're ruined, and so they're not the most opulent stuff, but is also not really like blending in. But he does just get a little bit of soot and kind of smear it across his face before each job to look as though he's got a bit of stubble.
Yes, nice. Yeah. The necessary method. I love it. That's great. Cool. Was there anything from Aldo? Did you have a thought about?
No, I mean, I don't think I'd change anything about my appearance. We're not supposed to get caught, and we're not petty criminals covering our faces with masks.
Indeed.
We're running a professional operation.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely right. Cool. I just wanted to get a sense of what everyone looked like sort of in this moment. So let's jump to the girl. The breeze tugs at your hair, which, as we've described, and which I just think is cool, so I'm bringing it up, is half blonde. Is it blonde from the roots down, or blonde from the middle of the hair down?
It's blonde from the roots down. She's
Gotcha.
a natural
Cool.
blonde, and she clearly had it dyed very dark at some point.
Yeah, the lower part's nice. So she's, as you're like climbing up the side of this railjack tenement, your arms reach upward to new handholds, gripping tight with the calloused fingers you developed over the years. Your muscled legs rise, finding footholds on stone windowsills, which is the best place for them, also on exposed pipes, which is not a good idea, and thick black cables strung between buildings, which is an even worse idea. But you're just like making your way up as fast as you possibly can. As you pass by, you see drawn blinds or look into the squalid tenements of railjacks, bare, cracked walls and bare floors with simple iron beds and wooden tables. A woman sees you and closes the blinds as quickly as she can manage, holding her baby in one arm. One of the apartments you pass is empty. You grip at the sweaty wrist of Peter Chain, who is desperately trying to keep up with you. He's got this hood over his head. You're 3 stories up, looking down. He looks down sort of with vertigo at the street below him and the altercation going on there. He goes, help me. It's so high up. It'll be challenging to get Peter and yourself up the rest of the way. What do you do?
Okay, so I've also just been hit. So I'm stunned. I'm frustrated. I'm trying to pull this kid up. I'm going to kick open the nearest window and somersault into whatever room that is.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. You could, I mean, wreck would probably be the most reasonable thing. You could also try and prowl to like try and do it a little more subtly, but I think the fastest, easiest way in would just be, knock open the thing. What do you think?
That is fine. That does mean I'm going to push myself though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, take 2 stress and get to roll. Do you have 1 or 2? Do you have any dice in wreck? Yeah, no. This is. You're like, I don't know how to break things.
Yeah, I'm not a wrecker.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a 1.
Right.
That's a 1.
Oh no. Okay. So what happens in the meantime is that I think here's what happens. You are like trying to get your way into a window. You like lift up your leg and you like kick against it, and like nothing happens. You're like, this is supposed to work. This always works in books and things. Like
I've
people
seen
can
Bram
kick through
do
windows.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, come on, this is totally normal. And Peter's like, oh, and then he points with a trembling hand up to a nearby rooftop. Across the street at some distance, you see figures running on top of the rooftop in the blue familiar coats of the police of Doskvol, the blue coats. They are shouting. They do not see you yet, but you see that there are men holding rifles, and you hear someone saying, Captain Marlane says we take them alive. And yeah, they don't see you yet. So because this is essentially in a controlled situation, it wasn't a risky roll, you now get a chance to do something else. You can attempt a different roll.
Okay, I'm going to, and this might be tricky because I'm gripping the edge of this wall, but I'm really struggling to get Peter up, so I will take a grappling hook.
Oh, nice.
And try and from, where I'm perched on the windowsill, like 3 inches away from the wall, try and get it up and over.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So you can finesse that, I think would be a reasonable way to do it, unless there's a roll that you think would be better.
No, I would love to finesse.
Awesome.
2.
Oh, no. Okay, so now in slightly more risky position, you guys are still, you're like climbing up, you're getting a little bit closer to the top, you like fling this thing up, and as it happens, you hear the snapping reports of a half dozen rifles from the nearby rooftop. Several of them are going down into the street trying to hit Hix and Varric. But as you swing the thing up, one of them strikes your left hand, and like the bullet strikes you, giving this would be level 2 harm, bullet wound, or you could choose to resist it and try and get rid of it.
I will try and resist.
Okay.
Would that be resisting using prowess?
I think so, since it's or I'll let you choose. It could be prowess or not resolve, but the other one, insight, just in terms of speed.
I mean, it's actually the same for me, so I'll just say it's prowess. Roll 3. That's a 6.
Okay, great. So you take no stress. Yes, and we'll in that case, since you're just like moving your hand out of the way, we'll say that there's no harm involved in that at all.
Okay.
So you guys are still sort of trapped there on the roof. Let's jump down to the street level really quickly and see what's going on down there. Hix and Varric, you are standing with Arisha Frost, Tormus. And Tormus is carrying the body of the ministry official. A jolt of electricity has just flown through all of you, and your eyes are drawn back to the 3 figures down at the end of the alleyway. There's a huge light coming off the boat where Ruthus Enjim was speaking to you via this broadcast. The 3 figures are wearing this strange gear, the Sparkcraft gear. They've got these big tanks of Leviathan oil attached to their backs, and you can see the white glowing substance sloshing inside, and you can see it pouring through these little tubes, going through on these wirings around them, and electricity flowing through the wires, causing these gauntlets to with electrical energy. That's the verb that I used. You know how verbs work. They also have these brass goggles. 2 of them are all 3 of them are sort of moving towards you, stepping slowly. One of them speaks, and her voice is amplified by some sort of Sparkcraft machinery around her neck. So it's like speaking through a megaphone. It says, "Surrender the boy and the body." They already got a chance to act. What do you guys do?
Can we run away?
You certainly can attempt to run away. Yes, prowl action would be great. You could also, I know it can often feel like, well, the only thing we can do is prowl, but you could attempt to cause a distraction. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 6-part clock, which is called Lose the Sparkcraft Soldiers. Yeah. So you can get them out of your hair if you can succeed at enough of these things. And so you could obviously use a prowl, but you could also cause some trouble, make an explosion, do something to distract them.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's all prowl away.
Sweet.
I'll push myself.
Awesome.
That is a 5.
Okay, awesome. So you are, yes, you guys all just sort of look at these guys and just like bolt the other direction. They sort of start following you. You go around the corner. We're going to put 2 dots into the Lose the Sparkcraft Soldiers. So you are 1/3 of the way to success. But with that 5, the central soldier, a woman with closely cropped brown hair, is running after you. She whips out her hand, and a live wire whips through the air. You can feel the electricity on it. It snakes around Hix's ankle, burning his leg with electrical energy, and yanks him across the round towards the 3 of them. These are 2 separate harms, which you can resist both of if you'd like.
No, I resist nothing. I take it.
Okay, all right. So,
I don't know. What am I looking at here?
Yeah.
Y'all just get away. They said they'll take us alive, and I'd like to talk to Provokes anyway. So.
Oh gosh.
Somewhere Bram is like, "Where's Hix? I need to protect him."
Can I reach out, pull out my cane sword, which I'm going to say I brought with me? and try to cut the cable that has attached.
Yes, you absolutely can. So if Ben is choosing not to resist them, you will take level 2 harm. Like before that would be able to happen, because like the action would have to resolve.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the complication from the 5.
Yes, that's exactly it. Because they are such a higher tier than you. Those consequences are there's 2 of them and they suck. That's sort of that's
cool
the idea there.
Yeah, I'll take them both.
Okay, great. So you're so like everyone's running away. You noticed like Tormus and Arisha in the previous session, Varric, you had been like, go the other way, and Tormus was like, no, I'm not doing that. So Arisha is running with you. But yeah, Hix has just been like dragged across the cobblestones. Hix is like, this is fine, I can take this. So
this is 2 level 2 harms I'm taking?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So that'll be electrical burn on, you could say, on leg. Very well named, like classy.
Sure. And dragged.
Yeah. Yep, dragged. So the dragged isn't harm, but that's just situational. Yeah. So meanwhile, yeah, you can totally make a move to try and cut the wire with your cane sword. That's awesome. That could be what role do you think would be appropriate?
This is going to have to be a finesse. I don't think I can say that's a prowl move, really.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I think finesse is great. I think that's totally doable.
I will go with finesse. Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Harm.
Yes.
As of last week, I now have 1 level 2 harm and 2 level 1 harms.
Yeah, tell me about the level 1 harms you've got.
Shocked and right hand bruised. I believe I got my right hand stumped on when we were stealing the portraits.
Yes, classic.
The shock happened just now.
Yeah, so I think that would reduce the effectiveness of your thing. You could make this a desperate roll to get that to like cancel that reduced effect out if you want it. I don't think the Called by the Tides will affect this in any way.
Excellent. Okay, then I will sacrifice position for effect.
Okay, great. So now a desperate roll with finesse.
Desperate roll with finesse. 4.
Okay, great. Wow, this is turning wild. Okay, so so you like pull out your sword, and just bring it down on this wire. The wire does snap, and so Hix has been dragged some distance. You are now closer to the guys than you would like to be. So in going that distance, we're going to take away one of the ticks on the lose the Sparkcraft soldier's clock. That'll be the consequence of that failure, I think. Yes. So, you guys have both acted. And then behind you, there is some more crap going on. There are some blue coats appearing. They're like running into the street. 3 of them appear, and they like lift rifles, and it's starting to look for a moment like you were surrounded. And then someone leaps from a nearby rooftop. This is a woman with flowing hair, spectacles, and wild eyes, wearing a crimson shirt, suspenders, and factory worker pants. She is in midair, holding a bayoneted rifle like a Valkyrie out of a legend. She lets out a warlike screech as she lands and stabs it through the ribcage of a bluecoat. She pulls it out with a slushy sound of vitals and then looks up at you with her blood-stained lenses of her glasses and grins. It is Florencia Dietrich.
Oh my god.
So,
I'm in love.
Florencia is a well-known political operative from the neighboring kingdom of Bavaria. She is well reputed as a terrorist and a sort of anti-establishment figure. She, alongside her, 2 men wearing like shirtless except for suspenders. I guess suspenders are not shirts, so shirtless and wearing suspenders, and also wearing red paper masks, wielding pistols in one hand and large metal pipes in the other, descend and start like beating the crap out of these other 2 bluecoats. Florencia looks at you and says, "I'm disappointed you're taking on the ministry without me. Come, we have numbers now. Let's kill them and get out of here."
Sure. Yes.
So, We'll jump back to you guys in just a moment. In the meantime, let's go to Aldo and Bram. This is fun having three parties to deal with simultaneously. Aldo, you catch a glimpse behind you. There's a fire raging in the street at some distance, the fire you had caused with the explosion. You can see two of these people in the lightning oil Sparkcraft tech just sort of trapped behind that fire, pacing, looking at you sourly. A single soldier is pursuing you, one of these same Sparkcraft soldiers that your friends are facing. Elias swears and chokes out. He says, "Rifleman above." As he says it, 3 shots go off from the rooftops nearby. A pipe nearby bursts, spraying hot water and mist out into the street. Elias crouches down on the sidewalk and says, "We could get to the canal this way." He rushes towards a steel grate on the street. I guess by canal he says, he says canal. Narrow down here, but it's more direct. So you essentially have some options. You could go down into this canal and try to sort of sneak under the neighborhood to get out, which could potentially get you trapped. You could also head towards and try to meet back up with your friends if you wanted. You know that they're a few blocks away from you. What do you guys think of doing?
You take the old man. I'm gonna go meet up with the others. I've got to get there and protect, especially Varric. He's very delicate.
Are you sure you can? Here, take
I'll
this.
meet up with them.
Can I pull off and give him a grenade off of my?
Yes,
bandolier?
of course you can.
Let me check that off. Okay, you know how to use one of these?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Just don't be near it when it explodes.
Yeah, obviously.
Just have
Be
to
safe.
be sure. Okay, and I'll take Elias and we'll head down into the canal, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, you lift up the manhole and hop down, climb down the ladder into the dark place underneath. Elias lights up a Sparkcraft lamp, and this LED, bright bluish light fills the canal. Down below in this sort of sewer, sometimes these places are really open and well kept. Sometimes they're disgusting, like in Crow's Foot and other places. This one is full of debris. There's garbage and rotten wood and sheet metal that's been dumped down there. You can see the way forward and you can hear chittering noises, which could be rats or, other things. You could try and sneak through this stuff or just smash things as you go. How do you go about getting through this canal?
I think we're going to move as quickly as we can, while being reasonable. Any sign of somebody having followed us down here or have gone ahead, we'll be looking for it. But generally, I think the hope is to get out of here as fast as possible.
Okay, great. Yeah, do you want to make a rec roll? You could also use an item from your inventory to increase effect if you wanted.
Sure. I will do the rec. And no, I think it'll just be that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, 5.
Okay, great. Yeah, you make it through. You're just breaking through stuff. Elias, as you're working, he says, "I'm sorry for everything that's happened. It's all Pike just biting off more than he can chew. And you lot, you're professionals, and I'm sorry that you got wrapped up in this."
It's true. This is a little hotter than we would prefer, but nothing that we can't handle. Of course. Here, give me a hand.
Right, and he's for this old man, he's actually pretty buff. He rolls up his sleeve, and you see these sort of stringy old muscles, and he's bashing these things alongside you, pulling stuff out of the way, yanking it into the water where it sort of falls. You get 2. So I won't do this as a clock, but you've essentially I won't make you write it down, but there's a 4-part clock, which is making it to the Orcus Tooth, and you are halfway there because you're just digging your way through, so you could get there in advance and potentially be of help to the people as they return. All right, let's jump back up to the girl. You and Peter are close to the rooftop. What's your situation? What are you trying to do? You see down below some people have shown up and are sort of fighting back against these figures from the Ministry of Preservation. What's your plan?
So first I'll turn to Peter, like so frustrated that nothing's working. Like, do you have any idea, like any plan, Bright Eyes, you little murderer?
And he's like, I mean, we can. I think there's ladders sometimes on the inside of the alleyway. We could get through in there. I don't know. I just thought you knew what the best way up was.
Never needed a ladder before. That's why I didn't think about that. But is that true, Ted? Could I try and find the ladder?
Yes. Yeah, you guys can essentially just like move around the outside here, and if you get in between the two things, they essentially have like fire escape equivalents that you could hop onto and get up to the roof a little bit more easily.
Great. So
Or
like sort of mumbling, fuck. I'm gonna try and move laterally instead of straight up. Not a
Awesome.
thing I'm used to doing, and trying to access that ladder.
Awesome. Yeah, I think with the attention of what's happening down below, you're able to do that without making a roll. So what's your plan next? So you guys can head back. You can head up to the roof. You can head down, back sort of into the same street where you were. What's your plan?
I see the fighting down below. I'm relieved that someone has appeared to aid us, but I'm still gonna go up because
Great.
that's how I know how to be.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pull him up to the rooftop and then start trying to make my way to the Orca's Tooth.
Amazing. Yeah. So you get up on top, and you immediately there's this like sense of not like complete calm, but just like, okay, I'm back in my element. Like the wind blows through your hair, and you like the moonlight is shining down on all these roofs nearby. Yes, there are some blue coats, and some of them are sort of coming towards this rooftop as well. But you can see like basically 3 or 4 rooftops with a few good leaps. You could get towards the canal where the Orca's Tooth is currently being kept. And so you can make basically whatever any role you think would work. You could finesse for like getting across these rooftops with him, or you could prowl. Another thing that you see is that there are some rails, like monorail tracks that are connected to some of these buildings. Like there's a drop off on the roof of one of these buildings, and you see a train at some distance that is sort of heading in your direction, which when it passes will block one of your paths.
Okay.
Which could either be leapt onto or could become a block keeping you from where you want to go.
And how close is that train?
You think it'll arrive in the next minute, 2 minutes?
A minute. That's too long.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to turn to Peter, say, well, okay, so you're not totally useless. Keep that cloak on. Let's go and start. I'm going to still be prowling, but I'm trying to prowl as fast as possible, keeping in mind, Ted, that I am stunned.
Yes. Good point. Yes.
Trying to get to the Orca's Tooth.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's make you can do a prowl. That's probably the most reasonable action.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
That's a 3.
Oh no! Dang
I'm
it!
doing terribly. I need to change my dice.
Yeah, dang. This is. Yes. The problem is not you. It's Peter. It's that he is terrified of heights, which is like, great. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for telling me. So you're like leaping across, you're doing all this stuff, and he's sort of standing back there, looking down, just in terror at one of these, at one of these gaps, and it's like, I don't know if I can do this. And meanwhile, you hear this. Meanwhile, the guys in the alley below have seen one of these Sparkcraft soldiers has separated from the rest of one of the 3 Sparkcraft soldiers down the alleyway is separated and is climbing up the side of the building, just like grabbing on with these huge metallic gauntlets, sort of increasing their strength. They're nearing the rooftop, so you can make another move, but they're getting in your way. They're coming soon.
Can Bram be coming through at this point?
Yes, Bram is just arriving in the alleyway. You happen to, as you come through, this huge muscled man with this like paper mask looks at you and says, "Who the fuck are you?" And then Florencia turns and says, "It's okay, he's a friend," and comes up and says, "Hello, good to see you, Bram." This is like as like lightning is like soaring overhead.
Let's kill someone.
Bram is like kind of looking wild because I am going to use some of my inventory and say that I took some adrenaline given to me previously by Aldo.
Amazing.
Does that
Fantastic.
give me any particular mechanical benefit?
You get to choose one roll to add one integer to.
Okay, great. I'll
So
keep
you
that
could
in mind.
change a 5 to a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do actually is sort of look over at Florencia and say, "Let's kill someone," and then spring up and try to grab the legs of the one who is climbing up after the girl.
Amazing. Yeah,
And I'm
sure.
going to use that adrenaline.
Awesome.
Now, what I'd like to do is sort of, moving quickly, using the terrain to my advantage, bring him down onto the ground. So I think maybe it's a skirmish. Does that sound fair?
I'm cool with that. I think. Let's see. So you don't have to decide to have used the adrenaline. This may be OP, but you can choose after the roll to decide whether or not you're going to use the adrenaline to affect the roll. I feel like it would also be reasonable to have another roll about because you're not skirmishing the building, like another roll to get you up to that position effectively.
Yeah. Do you want to do a prowl?
That sounds good to me. Yeah,
Okay,
I think you could.
All right, I'll roll that. I'm gonna. Let me check my stress here. I'm gonna push.
Okay, great.
Okay, it's and then the adrenaline lets me add to it.
Yep,
you can add one.
Yeah, well, yeah, 1 to the highest
All right,
number.
Then it's just a 4. I'm not going to use the adrenaline.
Yeah, don't use it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I spring up. It's a 4 as I try to get up to him.
Yeah. So basically, you're able to reach him, but in the process, he's climbing up there, and you see him just basically punching holes in the building as he's just because he's got these huge super-powered gloves. It's very Marvel. Don't worry about it.
I'm all about
it. But as he's doing it, he looks back down at you and pulls up his fist and goes, and this electric current runs down the side of the building and strikes you for level 2 harm.
Okay. I'm going to resist.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I've got a lot of stress. That
you
push
take the harm.
Yeah, I'll take the harm. I am shocked already, so this just goes on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. This would be a level 2 harm, and let's say it strikes.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I would like, if possible, to use my
armor.
your
armor. Yes,
I'm
a great
fool.
Choice. No, not at all. That's great.
All right.
Yeah. Use your armor. So how did you prepare for this situation?
Yeah, I knew that we were going to the railjacks, and I have an inkling that we've been chased by, people that have higher powered gear. So I wore rubber gloves, say.
Awesome. That's great. Yep. Yeah. So there's a moment where he's electrocuted this whole pipe that you're climbing up, and you just let go, except for the hand with the rubber on it. You dangle for a second as the current passes through, and then just come back up. Boom. And now you can get.
I reach up and grab at his ankle and try and pull him off the building.
Heck yeah. Great. So once again, somewhat reduced effect because he's higher tier than you, but you could push to desperate. You could also.
And I trade position for effect.
Heck yes, absolutely.
I mean, this sounds like I'm trading position, to be frank.
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm holding on with one hand on an electrocuted rail and then reaching up, and this is basically like a Beachbody move, workout move.
That's basically what it is.
Pretty sure I've seen Tony Horton do this. That is a 6, my friends.
Oh yes. All right. So yeah, your attempt is to pull him off the thing and just slam him down on his back onto the ground, right? I think,
and then I want to let go and be on top of him.
Right. Cool. I think given his increase in tier for me, so you basically he's tier 4, you're tier 1. Mm-hmm. I say given the situation, you're probably at I'd probably put him 1 down just because he's dangling off of the thing. Then you're up again with positions. So there's still 1 tier of difference, which I say would mean he's down. You're both on the ground, but he's on his feet. He's not on his back, but you guys are still grappling each other.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Yes. I've done so much, but there's more I want to do. I can wait.
Any immediate actions from anyone else before we sort of in this moment as this is happening? Because we've got Hix down on the ground. He's now no longer entangled because Varric sliced this wire. What are we thinking? Florencia and these 2 dudes are sort of approaching as well, trying to get into the fight.
Okay, so it sounds like we're surrounded, though.
You aren't anymore because Florencia and those guys knocked out the bluecoats who had surrounded you. So you do have a way out if you wanted to. Florencia wants to get in a fight, but you could just leave.
Okay. I mean, I'm not in any position to be fighting anybody. And and I mean, I'm thinking that I'm not going to be using any of my stress because I feel like I'm going to need it for the pending police interrogation. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna hang back and see what everyone else does before I do anything.
Varric, do you have an action?
Because it looks like it's pretty much like a done deal at this point. So.
Well, so see.
Yeah. I have a Hail Mary if things start to go wrong, but I have nothing that is actually helpful right now. So yeah, I would like to, if there's anything around us that like I could duck behind, like a little like wooden pallet or something that you could just sort of squeeze himself into and wriggle and hide.
You could, yeah, I think you could do a prowl roll to try and hide behind something.
Yeah. I'd like to prowl and hide something so that if the two remaining Electro Boogeymen come at us, I could theoretically be hiding from them if they start.
Sure. All right. Yeah, I see you.
Okay.
All right, yeah, make the roll.
It's a 4.
Okay. So yeah, you're trying to hide away from them. In the process, so there's an alcove in one of the alleyways nearby, and so you basically just run in that direction. There's like a big old I don't know, like not dumpster, but in the process, one of the two Sparkcraft soldiers sees you running that direction, leaps upwards towards the this leaps forwards across the street towards you. One of the big red masked men comes through with a pipe, and they like sort of start dueling for a second, but he is coming for you, and these guys are currently in a fight together. Meanwhile, Florencia's rifle lifts, and like there's this crack, and the central leader of the Sparkcraft people, the bullets looks like it missed her, and she sort of laughs, but then you see Leviathan oil leaking out of the tank on her back. So she's still got a good amount of it, and there's a lot of power coming through, but there's a shot has been done. So yeah, anyone else? Aldo down below in the tunnel, you guys you want to make another roll to try and get yourself to the Orca's Tooth?
Sure, yeah. I think in the same manner, I guess basically getting through the debris and...
Yeah,
okay.
That's great.
Okay, 4.
Okay. Yeah, so the you and Elias are able to push through the rest of the debris, and you see the Orca's Tooth. Like there's water now under your feet. The Orca's Tooth is now at some distance. I'm going to go ahead and reduce lose the Sparkcraft soldiers clock down to 0, since we're essentially no longer trying to get away from them, because they are now just like surrounding and moving in. So no consequences for you and this guy, but you guys are now at the Orca's Tooth, which is I'm assuming in an area of Canal that it's a little bit hidden, so that it's not immediately going to be seen. But you can see now a few blocks away your friends. What's your plan?
I'm going to Orisha is on the boat.
Hawk is on the boat, and one other main Leviathan hunter. Orisha's with the rest.
Okay, so running up to the boat, it's like, Hawk, get it started! And then I'm going to like get onto the boat and point them in the direction of the friends, and I'm going to run up to one of the harpoon guns and ready it.
Amazing. Heck yeah. Yeah, so you just like climb up the ladder. Elias is coming along with you. You're shouting orders, and you hear as the engine starts to roar inside the Orca's Tooth, and it just like wheels out into the canal. It's the cross canal here, so like the Orca's Tooth is here, and then the big engine boat is here. So you guys could come here, get picked up, leave potentially. So yeah, that is the move. I think.
So they are sorry. They are up against the canal.
They're like a block and a half from it, so they can see it from you. If they can get past these guys and get out, they could do it. So, okay, yeah,
great. Well, let me know when I'm in range.
Great, awesome. So let's get another action or two. Girl, do you want to do something?
Yeah, if I'm closer, I want to slap Peter. And earlier in the night, Hix gave me some, and maybe it's Aldo's like adrenaline thing, but Hix had a different name for it.
It's Spark.
Nice. Yeah, this is a different thing, but yeah.
Well, I have light fingers. I stole just a couple of other tabs because I liked it so much. I would like to press that spark into Peter's mouth slap him again to get him to swallow it, and then try and pull him towards where the boat is now moving to try and get us close enough to leap onto the orca's tooth.
I love it. Yeah, so you'll have increased effect on any roll you make here in terms of like trying to convince. You could command him. You could just like try to prowl. You could do whatever action you feel like is appropriate.
I mean, I think he's wearing my cloak. I'm going to, drug him up and then grab that cloak and start pulling him, hoping that he'll take the hint and begin to run after me. I want to say this is a prowl or a
I'm into it. Do
prowl. Great. New dice.
I know.
5.
Okay, that's great. Those dice are doing better than the other dice. Yeah, you're leaping across the rooftops, and you can see the orca's tooth moving down below in the canal. It's going to get to a point where you're going to be able to like basically jump down one floor and then jump down another one onto the boat in just a minute. So no, basically just the next. Then if you succeeded in another action, I think we'll just do that. As the consequence of the 5, however. Once again, like you see the bluecoats behind you are coming across these things, and they all start firing, and just these bullets are just whizzing towards you across, and one of them strikes you in lower back on your right side. So that's gonna be a level 2 arm. You can resist. You can take it.
It'll be level 2.
Yes.
I'll try and resist.
Okay, great. You got this.
4.
Okay, so you take 2 stress. You're one more stress will tip you over, but you're still up. Yeah, and in this case, because it's just so, because of I think there's a couple reasons I'm playing it this way, but because it's like a 5, you rolled a 5 as opposed to a 1 through 3, and because it's just a stray bullet, like it's just like happens to be a lucky shot, you're not going to take any harm at all from that.
Okay.
So sometimes it only gets reduced. In this case, it's just gone. So yeah, you happen to just like it grazes you, and not even doing anything. So yeah, you're just running with Peter, and he's like, "We can do this. We can do this." as like a little bit of like white steam comes out of his mouth from this drug he just took. It's fine. It's normal. All right. Yeah. What's so Bram? We jump back to you.
Yeah, so I'm on top of this, and I get the impression, right, that these Sparkcraft soldiers, are they the Ghost Wardens or not?
They're not the Spirit Wardens. These guys are.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they are Ministry of Preservation employees or mercenaries. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, what did you say? I'm not hearing your noise anymore. Am I?
Oh,
I think.
Yeah. I think you're having the headset problem.
Oh no.
Wait,
we just heard you.
No,
we got that.
You're normal now. No, go back.
You mime it. Shrugs.
All of this conversation happening while
Is tackling a...
Yes.
Okay, so they're like the SWAT team, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, of the ministry.
Great.
Exactly.
So there's a glint of like iron in the moonlight or whatever as Bram pulls out a manacle and clamps it around the soldier's ankle. Well, I'm going to try to clamp it around the soldier's ankle and then attach that to the ladder, the iron rail or whatever that we were climbing up the building.
Amazing. Yes, I love it.
So what's a good action for that? I
think skirmish, because you're trying to control. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, even if you always win at skirmishes, I'm happy about it.
Okay, it's a 6. It's actually double 6s.
Okay, great. Well, that's actually important, because that allows you to actually, I think, pull it off. So he is, you clamped, like you're like fighting with this guy. I mean, and you were dodging these huge hits. I mean, this dude is just like, and you're just like getting out of the way, clamp the thing on his ankle, clamp it onto the thing, and you're like, all right, peace, buddy, or whatever you do to him. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess where everyone else's position, it looks like I saw Varric try to hide. Hix is sort of watching and waiting. Is that right, Ben?
Yes, Ben is still sort of in the mix. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'm in between these spark soldiers, on one end of the alley. I guess I'm having a hard time picturing this. I'm in an
Yeah.
alley. The Sparkcraft people are on one end. The other end is Florencia, Bram, and some
Tormus
dead cops.
Arisha as
And
well.
Tormus
Yeah.
and Arisha. And Varric is like hiding in this like debris on the edge of the alley or something.
Yep, that's basically it. Yeah. So let's say alley goes up, down. This direction is the Orcus Tooth. You can even see it starting to move out, like a block and a half away. Got the Sparkcraft soldiers. Bram is actually fighting one of them here. You're here. I'm getting to. Yeah, you're here on the ground, having been dragged closer.
It's hard to follow.
Yes. Basically, you described it pretty accurately. Great.
Yeah, I think at this point-
well, I'm gonna be drawing 2 pistols and getting ready to run at
Okay.
the cops.
Great. And
Great.
Bram
So
will
you
be
s-
right beside
So you
you.
see what
Hix.
I'm up to, Bram.
Great. So as these guys using their fancy actions, the one who got into the tussle with the man with the red mask, the man with the red mask makes this huge hit with his pipe against the goggles of this soldier, and it like strikes the thing off his face. He's bleeding out of his forehead, and you see like this like salt and pepper beard, and this dude lifts up his gauntlet, grabs the dude by the throat, and just like charges him full of like this huge amount of electricity. The dude goes limp in the air, falls to the ground, and he comes towards Varric. So this is so you are now cornered by this dude, but it is your turn to act. So he just sort of looms over you.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. Yes.
What are you thinking you'll do?
I'm going back to the old well. I'm gonna put my hands up.
Hail Mary.
And say, you work for Ruthus Enjim, right? I know the man he hates the most, and if you let me go, I will personally seek out Ruthus and tell him how to take down the conservation salon. But you need to let me go.
Amazing. Yeah, let's roll it. Let's roll that sway or consort or whatever you want to do.
Let's say that it's a consort roll.
Great, awesome. Are you gonna push yourself? You're gonna keep it as is? You're gonna trade position for effect?
I will trade position for effects, and then I would like to know what a devil's bargain might be.
This is a great question. So one rule that Carson and I rediscovered last week is that anyone can suggest devil's bargains at any point for any roll.
Okay.
Right. So other players can come up with devil's bargains for other people. I do get final say on what I approve as a devil's bargain, but you know, because I'm in charge sometimes. But yeah, if anyone has an idea for a devil's bargain, I'm not immediately thinking of one.
Maybe something that like Rufus is going to demand something of Varric that Varric won't like in the future. I don't know. That maybe somehow this does get back to Rufus and he's like, "Oh, okay. You're mine now."
Yeah, like you offered to help me. Great. Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe.
No matter what, he hears about this.
Yeah.
Whether it was your intention to deal with them or not, he knows.
And he's like, "Great, I'm gonna use you to destroy your family now," or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was kind of counting on Ruthus not actually knowing who I am, but I'd be fine with like the devil's bargain being that like, yeah, everybody knows that Varric Allmanned made this offer to Ruthus.
I mean, he knows everything else about us somehow.
Yeah,
He's
seems
been
like it,
looking
yeah.
into
It's,
us, so I'm sure he
doesn't know all your identities. The main stuff that he
okay.
pointed out was activities, like things that he knew you were involved in. So he doesn't necessarily seem to know exactly who you are. But yeah, he does know a ton. So it's possible that he knows about who Varric is. How do you feel about that, Jamie? Do you like basically that the devil's bargain is that Ruthus Enjim, when you next encounter him, will expect a favor from you?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a problem for later Varric. That turn.
What are you thinking, Ben?
and maybe the way it plays out mechanically is that, I mean, I don't know if this is too harsh, but maybe you have to spend one of your downtime actions acquiring an asset for Ruthus Enjim or something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking about how this would play out mechanically.
Yes, yeah. What would make it?
I could have to do something for him at Letitia's like
Oh, her
debut
coming.
ball.
Yeah,
like
debut.
there's something I need to do at that ball for Ruthus Enjim that I will.
That is interesting. One of the challenges for this for me, just trying to think narratively about it, is if the dude is not convinced by you, why on earth would Ruthus then call on you for a favor down the line? Like, why would he follow up on this? I don't think that's impossible.
Otherwise, I'm happy to just just go with my natural rolls. I was just wondering if there was something.
Yeah, of course. No, of course.
Maybe he's gonna punch you either way. Maybe that's the most simple consequence is that you're gonna get hit in the face and take level 2 harm or something.
Yeah, no matter what happens. How do you feel about that one, Jamie?
It'd be the last thing I do on this score.
That's getting the devil in the room.
Your call, man.
Sure, I'll take getting hit in the face.
Okay, great.
All right.
Woo!
All right, so that's 3 then.
Okay, 3 dice.
Oh, it's a 6. That's a 6.
Okay.
On the last one, on that end.
Nice.
There we go.
Amazing.
Oh
So, that's amazing. So, you do get punched in the face and take level 2 harm. So, this dude, like,
right.
You're like saying this, and he's like, pulls up his fist and just like, boom, just slams you. You just feel this crack in your nose, and this like blood starts streaming down it. You can resist. Can you resist?
Oh boy, there's the question.
Get that trauma.
Yes.
Come on, man. Trauma's fun.
I will resist this punch to the face.
Okay.
To that guy. So that's gonna be a prowess resistance then, right?
Yes, prowess
All right.
resistance. Yes. How many dice do you have there? 3, 2?
There's 2. That's 2 in prowess.
You got this. You're gonna be fine.
Oh, 6.
Okay, no stress.
Right.
You're fine. Yeah, you see the gamble. Yeah. So how do you resist the punch? Yeah, you just like duck it out of the way.
I think it's more sort of yeah. I feel like you said I ducked like into an alleyway. I feel like I ducked into the alleyway and then was standing right next to the entrance to talk to this guy as he rounded the corner.
Nice.
And instead he just murdered that guy with Florencia Didrik, and like as I feel like the giant mecha hand sort of reaches around, like that just stumbles backwards, slips on a puddle, and like lands on his ass while he's still throwing his hands up.
Yes. Amazing. Yeah, so you just like totally tumble back. It's not graceful, but it is effective. And you feel like a surge of pride as you're like, I pulled that off pretty well, actually. Yeah. And he sort of hesitates at your offer, and once again through this like amplified voice box says, "This is bigger than them." And then there is a crack of a bullet, and behind, and he jerks as Florencia from a distance fires her rifle at him. She says, "Servant of industry, do you serve man or do you serve the machine?" And like fires at him again, and he sort of turns away from you towards her. So you're, though he didn't necessarily agree with your logic, it provided the time necessary to get him involved in a different part of the fight.
Can I raise my pistol and shoot as well, like right beside Florencia?
Heck yes, absolutely.
Just make it a firing squad.
Yes, that's great. I love it.
Okay, so I'll hunt probably.
Yeah. Hunt is great. That's the ideal.
That is 1.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm trying to impress like your crush. And
yeah, I look over and I say, "This is the one, isn't it? We're gonna kill him." And then
yeah, just completely goes off another direction. So actually, what that allows is instead of, so the guy is still manacled and like fighting with this thing, but the third one, meanwhile, because she's got no one bothering her, comes up and actually crouches down right in front of Hix, who's like pulling out his pistols while still lying down on the ground, and just like pulls up a hand and just like defibrillators him. So just like, and that's going to be another level 2 harm. It would be level 3 if it hits you.
yeah, I'll just take it. I feel like I mean, the thing is like I couldn't, because I had 2 level 1 harm before. Me taking 2 level 2 harm, even if I resisted it, I would still take 2 level 2 harm because it can't be reduced to level 1 harm. So I have to take this one as well. So it feels like narratively,
you're kind of trapped.
That I'm gonna get this shit kicked out of me and taken by the cops, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I think that is a good point in this specific moment. I think given the circumstances, like I could see, and this is me being a little bit shaky on world building stuff, but I think given like you could potentially roll out and completely avoid this harm if you wanted, like if you succeeded at a resistance roll with this one, I think. I'd work with that narrative.
I mean, I just feel like I don't see myself getting out of this.
Sure.
At all. So I think I'm just gonna take it and
all right,
and let them do what they want with my inert body.
Yeah. So
So what's the name of the level 3 harm I'm taking, Ted?
Oh my gosh. Comatose.
You can name it. Since
you
made it.
I'll name it Comatose. Yeah. Woo! But in the process, so Bram makes this shot. Hix is now like just collapses onto the smoking onto the pavement, and Florencia makes yet another shot at this at the guy who's about to get Varric, and finally with all of these shots going into him, the lightning take on him explodes in this firework of electroplasmic energy, and he collapses. So there's now one guy manacled, the one girl who's on top of Hix, and one guy who is dead. You guys could potentially make it out of here. And Aldo, you are in range to fire the harpoon.
Okay. Great. As we come around, the priorities are this. I want it through a bad guy first, if I can.
Yes.
I guess that's number 2. I needed to stick into something. I needed to stick into something near them.
Bonus points if it's a bad guy.
Yeah, bonus points if it goes through the bad guy.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I love it. I'm into it. This is probably a hunt. You could push yourself. Your call.
A hunt?
Yeah. You wanted to be a finesse.
Or a tinker or whatever. I just don't have a lot of hunt, so
okay.
By a lot, I have 0 hunt, so I can force myself to take 1. I'll do that then.
I could. I don't know. I think you could you'll have a better chance. Go ahead, Ben.
I mean, I can aid you. We can maybe so we can use my foresight ability. I have another one that will give you an extra die. And maybe it's just that we took the Orcus tooth out and shot the harpoon one day, and drank some beers,
see how far it goes.
Got some sun and shot the harpoon and got some practice.
Classic. I love it.
That's wonderful, and I can get that extra die for free, including pushing myself, so I can go to 2.
That's correct. You can go to 2. Yep.
Okay. Then I will roll, and I am not kidding you. It is 2 6s.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing!
I have to show you. That is a 6 and a 6.
Oh my gosh, well done! Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So with the increased effect, I mean, I think it goes through the lady standing on top of Aldo.
Yeah.
I think it probably. I think Hix. I'm sorry. I think it goes through her thigh, and then anchors itself in the street.
Yes, exactly. That is what I want. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So
and hopefully, if they see, I'm just gonna be shouting "Get the fuck out of there!"
And the thing lands and just grips right into the stones. Next to Hix is just limp body. Yeah. So what's the plan here? So yeah, she is just groaning and obviously in shock and not moving at all. The guy is still wrestling with his manacle.
Can I take advantage of that and strip some gear off of her?
Oh my gosh! Yes, yeah, absolutely. What I think like probably. I don't know. What
I
role do you
want
think,
the
Vanessa?
the hand claw electro things.
Yes,
Yes.
get it. Bring it back for me. Yes.
Yeah, man. What role do you think would be appropriate?
I mean, I'm not picturing myself doing it with any measure of finesse.
No. Is it
I-
wreck?
Yeah, let's do wreck.
Okay.
Break
Woo.
her arm.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
I'm just
gosh.
like tearing them off. I want to try and like make sure all the components are attached to it, but I'm just
Sure. Yes.
It's a 5.
Okay, great. So in the process of like ripping this off, like one, she's like ineffectually just like trying to hit at you, with like just like, ugh.
Just let it happen.
Yeah,
Stop
but you, oh no! But yeah, you rip this gauntlet off of her. So you obtain a damaged gauntlet. So it's like you rip off some of the wires in the process. It's like not perfect. And also, when you hear more bluecoats like pouring in off the street, and like a couple more of these guys who like the 2 other lightning soldiers who just made it around from the explosion that Aldo caused. So you guys, you gotta go.
Time to go.
Yep. And you guys all, I think you have the time to. Are they like zip lining across the wire? Is that the? I mean, up?
I mean,
I don't think that would work.
No,
No, it wouldn't really.
I assume if the boat is up higher than the thing, that they can use it to climb up to get to the hull and
Yes,
get
yes.
over it and whatever.
I love it. Yep. Yeah. Florencia comes over, lifts Varric off the ground, and just sort of gestures for him to keep coming. One of the men in the red, the remaining man in the red mask, grabs Hix off the ground, picks him up, and like heaves him over his shoulder.
Where's Arisha and the Leviathan?
Arisha and Tormus are with you. Yeah, they've been sort of a part of this, but not. I assume Tormus probably got electrocuted a little bit. But yeah, that's been one of the many pieces sort of jumping around here. Meanwhile, the girl, you see the ship coming into range. Peter says, "There it is." And you guys can make your final roll to see if you make it to the ship without getting shot.
I'll tell him, roll when you land, don't break your knees.
I love it.
Is there anything like we could help by drawing attention?
You could like spend a die to aid and say that you did that.
Yeah,
and give her another die in the process.
That. Is that 2 stress or 1?
1 stress to aid.
All right, I'll do that. So I'm at 7 stress.
Woo! All right, yeah. So like you like probably cause some more noise.
Yeah, I'll just start like shouting. With this adrenaline pumping, drawing attention to myself.
Amazing.
Come on, you bastards!
Up to the blue coat.
Amazing. So you get another die, Kristen.
5.
Amazing. Yep. So you guys leap off the edge of the thing. Do you get another bullet striking you on the way down with that 5, girl?
Are you asking me?
I think that might be I think that's what happens. So you get a level 2. So you can either
can I use the Devil's Footsteps? Is that retconning too much?
Tell me what it is.
Oh,
Remind
never mind. No, never mind. I don't want to do that. That. That would give me trauma.
Cool. Yeah. So you either So you're like leaping, you're falling through the air, and you feel this just like another thing hit you in the right calf. So you can either resist it, or you can resist it and potentially take trauma, or you can just take the harm.
And is it level 2 or level 1?
Level 2. But if you resist it, it'll be level 0. It'll be just gone.
Yeah. As much as I want trauma, I feel like I should resist it.
Okay. As long as you don't want trauma?
As much as I want trauma, I feel like I should resist it, like as the character.
I'll resist the trauma as the character.
Kristen wants trauma. The girl does not want trauma. So I'll resist.
Okay.
Resistance
will give you trauma.
Oh!
Because of the stress.
Yeah, if you max out stress. So you can take the harm.
Okay, I'll take the harm.
Okay, great. Sure. All right. Whatever.
I feel like that's the character's choice.
It is, sure.
Kristen would love to be traumatized, don't worry. So, bullet to the calf?
Yes. Yep. Yep. So you're able to just like, it strikes you and you like land on top of the boat when just like, and you somersault. But there's like this little spray of blood that Aldo just like strikes you in the cheek as she rolls from this bullet wound. Everyone else is meanwhile like climbing up onto the boat. Hawk is just like flooring the engines of this. So by the end of this, who's the last one onto the boat? You think? Bram. Yep. So Bram is like climbing up the thing, and just getting your way, jungle gymming your way up. And as it pulls away, the harpoon gets yanked out of the thing, and you swing and like barely get yourself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Errol Flynn onto the side of the thing. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's great.
And I throw the gauntlet down at Aldo's feet, and I say, "Wipe yourself off."
As I'm like releasing the harpoon so they don't grab it or anything.
Yes, love it.
Did you get me something?
Yeah. A tribute for the king.
Amazing. So the Orca's tooth just pulls out with like, just this huge rev of its engines, but is able to like dodge into the traffic of the canal actually rather swiftly. And you leave Enjim and the others behind. They assumed that they would take you by land, and so the pursuit, if there is any, is ineffectual and does not reach you. Meanwhile, everyone is just sort of getting themselves together. We've got Florencia is also on the boat with you, and this other dude there. Yeah. So what are people saying to each other? What's happening?
I think Bram's gonna take a minute and just be sort of like chuckling to himself as blood is like dripping down his face, looking out over the prow of the ship. Not really. And then I'll look back and at Florencia and say,
"So, what brings us such fine company tonight?"
Well, when last we met, you nearly died leaping out of an exploding ship trying to help me escape the inspectors. I heard something was going down, and I was surprised you hadn't asked me for help as it was. I was a little bit disappointed, honestly.
Well, frankly, you weren't very, I didn't think we parted on such good terms, despite the fact that we saved your life.
I'm trying to understand how I can be of help in this city. I didn't know who to trust. I still don't know if I should trust you, but I figured if you'll fight, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
You have certainly been of help to us. Thank you.
Your friend looks like he's in a bad way. She gestures to Hix.
I'm caring for him, by the way.
Great. Yeah, maybe you're down in the below decks in the Orca's Tooth now.
No, right on the floor.
Right on the top. Great. Like open air. Yeah, Hix is just like breathing shallowly. He's in a bad way. Just like scarred and like bruised and like, this isn't how electricity
you're
works.
making a big deal. It's fine. He's like slapping his face like, "You're okay. Hey. And just like getting his attention. Anyway, not to take away from Florencia.
Sure. No, you're good.
"No, that's awesome." I had one question, which was, I think, was it Bram that was carrying the body, or was someone else carrying the body?
Tormus was carrying the body, and he's back, and he's got it. He's got
Great.
the body. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate, for that reminder.
Oh yes, a good question. Tormus is there holding the body.
Can we what the fuck just happened? That was fucking Ruthus Enjim there.
Yes, I would like to second. I'd like to second that feeling.
Bram's just laughing.
Why is it that every time we get into this, we get into a fucking war at some point? God.
They had electric hands.
Which, by the way, thank you, Bram.
They've got one less now.
Yeah. Bram, how much edge did you take? I gave you enough for a few days.
Oh, I thought it was one dose. Feels great.
I'm glad. Oh, he's like goes over and checks his pulse real quick. Just that 1 second. Yeah, you're fine.
Arisha like pulls out like a bottle of like scotch or the equivalent and is like, This cool you down a bit if you want it.
Oh, absolutely
Like-
not.
She takes some herself, a big swig, and she's looking pretty thoughtful. She looks out with her one eye back out at the sort of disappearing shape of Night Market, and she says, "Do we know how he knew so much about us?"
If I know.
There was Hix and I some time ago after we got the Orca's tooth, I was visited by somebody, a doctor who came to attend to my wounds. I assumed that Hix had arranged for it. She had arrived at my house. No one knows where I live except, of course, for Hix. And when I went to thank him for it, he had mentioned that she also visited him, knew where he was. Not that these are connected events, but someone who could find me and find Hix.
I remember that woman. Yeah, she came and helped me as well.
It looks to Bram.
Yeah, she came. Well, she was helping us. I don't see what the problem is with that.
Right. I mean, not that they would be connected, of course, but somebody with the resources or at least the connections to know where we live and to know what kind of trouble we'd be in, perhaps. The problem is I don't know how to find her. I only got a name.
How many of us have been picked up? I was picked up months ago by the Bluecoats. They didn't learn anything from me.
I also was picked up. It got nothing from me except some coin, perhaps, but that's it.
If Bram weren't in an altered state, he would highly doubt that statement.
Yeah. Sort of.
Did the girl say anything in response to this?
I was picked up. I didn't want to say anything, but after our first takes pretty early on. Look, I wasn't visited by this woman. I don't know. I don't want to get involved with the white-haired guy. What's his name? The scary
Ruthus
one.
Enjim.
Ruthus Enjim, yeah.
We all know it very well because we saw a whole play about it. I think it was before you were working there.
For the theater company.
It was the old play, yeah.
I think it might be a bit late to not have anything to do with him.
Me?
Go. Well,
Look,
This was recent.
I don't know this woman. I don't know. I barely started working with you all.
well, it seems as though they knew we were there tonight, right? And someone in the Railjacks must have told them, right? They mentioned that they knew we have a body. They knew we had a murderer. They knew we were there.
Speaking of the body, we need to get rid of it right away.
Oh, yeah.
And probably with that timing, you arrive at the southwestern edge of Charter Hall. There is a little church and a little graveyard that stand on the edge of the canal. You guys can park the Orca's Tooth among some of the other boats in the area. Orisha and the others have this very quick maneuver of just pulling out this big, canvas just to make it look like something under construction, and they get things all set up, and you guys are able to step down the gangplank and head to the church if you want. So as you're there, who knocks at the door?
I knock. It has to be the right way.
Yes, yeah.
And I
You
give
do
him
the
the
turn.
knock. The beep.
Yeah, you do the Terminator knock.
Yes, the Terminator. knock. Da.
So you slam on the door of the shed in the little churchyard, and for the first dozen or so knocks, you don't hear anything. And then there's a groan, and you hear some footsteps. And Eckerd opens the door, looks at you, looks at Tormus holding a naked body. Get inside. And who else is there? Is everyone coming inside? Is it all the dwarves and Gandalf?
I would have.
I'm gonna pace outside. I'm still
Okay.
not come down yet. So,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna
yeah.
kind of keep watching.
Love it. Yeah.
I'll probably stay on the boat with Peter.
Okay.
Unless, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been there before. Yeah, I'll come with.
Great. Yeah. So you come inside. Eckerd lays down the body on the table. He says, "Should I be asking questions about this?"
Absolutely not. You should not ask any questions. I have a question for you. How badly
Alright.
do you want it? It's a good specimen, yes?
He looks at the like kind of paunchy middle-aged man and is like, "Not sure by what standard." Did he have any gold? Did they have gold on them? Fillings, jewelry?
Hadn't checked that deeply into his mouth, but everything was stripped from him.
Okay. You can do a study action to see if he's got fillings or anything.
Yes, I can do a study action. Yes.
Since we don't seem an immediate risk of taking more stress, I can aid.
Yeah, sure. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is Hix looking, by the way, after they were treated by Aldo? Are you unconscious?
Well, I was comatose, so I
level three
assumed so.
harm. Yeah, level 3 harm means you cannot. It means you're essentially fainted. You could probably still talk, but it would only be like you couldn't like hold a whole conversation. So you could become semi-conscious. But yeah, he'll be kind of out of it until
You're
basically
inside the church.
Aldo is. Or are you asking if Hix
Oh,
is?
yeah. I'm just curious how you doing, Ben.
No, I'm just laying on the deck of the boat. As far as that's the last place anyone took me. So
Okay,
I'm
so
still
I
there.
think I think
yeah.
while I'm like on lookout, I'll eventually climb back up onto the boat, or maybe I'll bring you down. I'll bring you down, and I'll kind of lay you in the grass. Make sure you're comfortable.
Nice. It's your call, Ben, at this point about like what, if any, conversation Hix has. Like if he's completely just out and quiet, your thing. Yeah.
I'll be quiet for now. I don't know. I don't have much to say.
Yeah, totally.
I rolled a 4 to
Okay.
study it.
Great. So yeah, you're looking through basically searching the mouth for potential fillings. You do find that there is a. Someone's going to point out that this is not like historically or scientifically accurate, but I'm just saying he's got like some crappy kind of metal filling, like pewter or something that's like not worth anything.
Like lead fillings. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So like granite. Anyway, so.
Neither of those are metals.
Whatever. I know granite isn't a metal. I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
I love that though.
So
We fill our teeth with stone.
yeah, gross. Eckerd says, "Look, I'll take it, but I can't pay you anything for it.
Nothing at all. I mean, this is
A dead body, and I know it's red hot. You came in a fucking tank."
look
Hell yeah.
fine, but it absolutely cannot get out. Is it safe here?
It's as safe as you are. It's safer. I'm not gonna think I'd rat you out at this point.
Nobody can know, and it has to go away fast. Okay.
I can have a gun tomorrow by noon.
Okay.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. It got hot tonight. You're right. It is red hot. I'm fine. I'm trusting that this will get done the right way.
Yeah, it will. Don't send a follow-up letter. It's done. Consider it done.
Okay. I'll turn and start to go out without much else to say.
Yeah, Hayes just says, "Good luck, Aldo."
Thank you.
You guys
This is
do this
Varric to them.
often. Do you bring him bodies like every day? Aldo?
Me?
Or, yes.
No,
What?
no. Of course not. I mean, as you know, we came here. He has certain valuable things for me.
Yeah, I thought it was one way around. You get things from him. I didn't realize we.
Well, when we needed a place to put it, it seemed like the best place. Not going to be found.
He's never brought me a body before. At least not besides his own.
He like sharply looks toward Eckerd. With like
Your dreams.
Eckerd returns the gaze briefly, but then he's the one who breaks it. Uncomfortable.
No, I've never brought a body before.
Right,
We can
okay.
trust him. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Yes. Good seeing you again, Eckerd. Gonna pat the corpse lightly as I exit. Just. All right,
Do you need your
cheerio.
feather boa?
Oh well, I mean it's contaminated. It might be evidence though. And just sort of grab one end of it and pull it off from around the neck of the guy. Kind of stick it into an inside pocket.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Anything else you're doing with Eckerd or anything there?
I think I'll say to Varric, one moment please. Just you can wait outside or head back up. I'll be there in a moment.
All right, don't go buying any more bodies. Saunter out.
Yep, Varric leaves, as does Tormes. Yeah.
And he will come back in and he says, "Don't ever bring that up in front of them. Don't ever."
Didn't realize you hadn't told them. Seems like you're friends.
They are my friends. They don't need to know. I certainly didn't ask you to save me. I didn't want it. And so don't act like it's something I owe you for, okay?
You don't fucking acting like you owe me. I'm helping you. Even when you're going out and doing it all again. I don't fucking care.
Well, good. Neither do I.
Great.
Fuck you. And he walks
Get
out.
the fuck out.
He just like slams the door on the way out.
Yes. Meanwhile, Peter is sitting. The girl, is she talking to Peter, or is she like sitting with him, or is she just back at the boat? What's the situation?
Yeah, I think she'll turn to him like, who the fuck is scared of heights? You couldn't have warned me or mentioned it when I said, we'll go up, but they don't go up, and you didn't think that might be relevant, or?
No, you're right. You're right. I didn't think about it, and that makes a lot of sense. But I did. I mean, in the end, I mean, what you gave me, that felt really good. I mean, it was really exciting. I mean, maybe I'll be good at heights in the future. I don't know.
So you like the drugs?
I mean, well, no, don't tell my mother that I do. I've never done them before.
Oh, you're going to do some now.
No, I'm not saying anything about my continuing or existing or past relationship with drugs. I'm just saying that it was helpful in the moment. That's all. But thank you.
Any other fears you want to mention now? Get out of the way.
I mean, being convicted of murder.
Is a fear you have?
Specifically in this moment, yes.
That's a smart fear. Drugs aren't going to help you there. Well, maybe.
They won't resolve the situation, though, like they did with the last one.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what happens now? Me?
Well, if Hix wakes up, I think he promised you employment.
Better than nothing.
It's a hell of a lot better than nothing. It's a hell of a lot better than what you deserve. Scared of heights. Oh my God.
We struck a chord.
My trigger.
I love it. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I also have met Florencia, not in context of this group, but at a salon once upon a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been. So she comes up and she says, "I didn't know you were a part of this crew. Is my memory failing me?"
No, it's not. I didn't know you were connected to this crew either. I don't know a lot about what happens in this crew.
Well, you met me a few months ago with Tom and William, but I only came to the city half a year ago, and I had a rather explosive entrance, which was only possible because of these gentlemen. She's like cleaning this big old rifle that she's got, like disconnecting this bloody bayonet and like cleaning it off with a little cloth. She says, "How long have you been working with them?"
Just a couple of scores, maybe a month or two.
I see.
Do they always attract this much attention?
With me, yes. This is the worst it has ever been, I think. The attention of so powerful a man. I will say, Ruthus Enjim, I don't think wants to destroy this crew. I think he wants to frighten them. And he has the resources to do so. But he is afraid too.
Of
As
what?
you know this, all people with capital are afraid.
Huh.
They're afraid that the Railjacks unionizing will lose. He's afraid that it will loosen his power over Doskvol. As it is, Ruthus has all the cards. Without him, there's no food coming into the city. But if the Railjacks have some of that power, things might change.
I mean, it sounds like the same sort of idealistic nonsense Tom and William are always talking about.
Yes. Nonsense. Do you ask her anything else or talk to her about anything else?
I think I'm clutching my leg and waiting for the rest of them to get back.
Yeah. So Aldo comes back. I don't know how many people hear the slam of the door.
Yeah, Bram's like right there.
Yeah, he comes out like, "Oh, shit.
Keep it down. I'm trying to make sure no one sees us.
You standing right outside? You
Yeah,
didn't hear anything.
I'm watching. What do? You stand at the door and you watch.
Okay, let's go.
What are we going to do with him?
And I point at Hix.
And I'm gonna... Can I use a downtime action? I know we're at downtime to start a heal on him. I want to wake him up.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's see if you can pull it up.
Okay, I got 1-6. Only one.
That's pretty good. So that's three ticks.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that
Basic.
yields a level of harm.
Whew. So that means all of your level 1 harms go away. Your level 2 harms both become level 1 harms, so they become lesser versions of that. And comatose is just going to become. It's good. I mean, just ignore my lack of medical expertise. It's going to be like arrhythmia. Basically, like your heart is going to be inconsistent.
Well, that would make sense because I just whipped out some edge and shot it straight into his heart. I mean, like feeling him and he's like not responsive very much, and it's like, oh shit, we don't have time for this. And he just like shoots it into his heart on the deck of this boat. Like he's like, what are we gonna do? Yeah, it's like, oh,
Is that
breathe.
safe?
Yeah!
Like,
What did you just put in him?
nothing. The same thing you put 3 vials of in yourself.
Well,
It's
I didn't
fine.
do
Hey,
that.
Breathe.
God!
He like pulls him over his shoulder, like, he's fine, you're fine. I have you, yes. It's good. It's good.
You have me.
It's good. It's good.
You all right, mate?
I don't know.
Let's get
Sounds
you.
back to normal. It's all good.
Why don't we get somewhere safe?
God damn.
The Orca's tooth kicks back up. Hawk gets you out. Arisha suggests.
I'll look over at
basically-
Florencia and say,
Yeah.
Give you a lift home.
She says, Mr. Borden, I think that people like us very rarely have what one can call a home.
My place then.
What, you couldn't take her back?
clearly
to her
very
girlfriend's
brave
house?
from the adrenaline that he shot directly into his veins.
Let's roll a consort and see what happens. I don't want to make this
Okay.
choice. Or whatever you want to roll.
I think I recently got it. No, it was in Sway. Do you think she would respond romantically to a command?
That's up to you, Bram. You got to make that call. If you think she'd respond romantically.
I'm gonna go for it. She seems
Yeah,
like
do
Yeah,
it.
you are. Yeah, you
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so when I say my place, I kind of like put my hand, very firmly on top of hers, like maybe on the railing of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Ruckus
Oh,
team.
love it.
I say,
Yeah.
my place
Mhm.
then.
Yes.
That's a 5, and now I'm gonna use my adrenaline to turn it.
Edge.
Wow, this stuff
Oh,
is
man.
versatile.
Yeah, Edge is OP, man. Dang.
It's great. It's fine.
No, it's perfect. Yeah.
Picturing like someone asking someone out, and then while you're waiting for a response, like you just
Take a
and, like,
shot.
This is like I peaked now. Like the top of my edge high is hitting now, right as I ask her.
Yes, yeah, I love it. I think like people are maybe down below decks working on Hix. I mean, I don't know. Well, basically, you guys are off in a different part of the tooth, and she just like grabs your face and kisses you very passionately.
Yeah.
Just like very briefly, and says, "That sounds fine." And goes up onto the top of the deck and goes to continue helping Hix. Or whatever.
Yeah. So we'll make our way to
Wherever you guys end up.
I said my place, but I don't have a place, so
I know.
it's going
It was
to
like
be
such a bluff. She
Yeah.
says yes, and you're like, oh fuck.
It
Please
works.
not my lab. Please not my lab.
It's going to be Decker's place.
What a good friend, dude. That's
Oh,
a really
amazing.
good friend.
Yeah.
Talk to
Put
him
him
in a
to fuck
while.
in his bed.
Dagger's a good dude.
That's a
He's,
good friend.
He's so obliging that he hasn't even shown up in the whole season.
We scared him off.
Yeah. But anyway, so Arisha suggests possibly that they could take the Orcus Tooth back to their regular spot in Six Towers, which they think is probably secure. They could take it to the Magnolia and sort of park it in a weird spot in the canal next to Six Towers. Silk Shore, I mean. They could also put it in like a debris field that they know near the lightning wall, which is sort of a weird place to put it, but they could park it out, leave it for a couple nights, and basically stay out with the boat and with Peter just to try and lie low.
Yes, they love it.
That sounds like a good idea.
Great. So they're willing to do it, but they drop everyone else either probably at the Queen's Magnolia on the way, and you're dropped like on a sandbar about like 400 meters walk from there, from the Magnolia, and then the boat just sort of heads off. And probably at one point, like crossing into Silk Shore, the man with the red mask, who is with Florencia, like salutes to her and like talks to her a little bit, and then just leaps off the side of the boat into the water and disappears into the night.
Wow.
It's just like
What a G.
one of her anarchist friends. It's just like, all right, peace. So yeah, you guys end up back at the Queen's Magnolia. I mean, feeling great after just like a really fun time. Yeah, let's let's talk about first what happens payoff wise. These guys, the Reljects agreed to pay you 4 coin, but you talked it down to 2, and then had Peter sort of now working for you, so he's joined in as part of a cohort. Yes, and then so 2 coin for that, for the group. Then in terms of heat, how much would you say that was? We did have a bomb go off.
We usually do.
I mean, quite a few dead bodies, I think. Right?
Yeah, there were a couple.
This is
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Like a woman harpooned, and like, is she? I mean, we got our harpoon back, or was she just like bolted to the street until someone helped her?
This is a good question. I don't know if like the cable was
Who
severed or what
knows?
you guys did. Yeah,
I mean,
we're not going to worry about that.
I think we took off and pulled it out of the road, but maybe not out of her before she got drug a little ways before I cut the line. So.
My gosh, yeah. Whew. Yeah. So that seems like loud and chaotic, high exposure plus
yes.
2 heat for bodies.
Probably yes.
Yeah. I think that's going to cap you, isn't it?
How much is that?
6.
That'll go all the way full and 1 more past it.
Okay.
It's like GTA when the helicopters start coming out after you.
So what's nice about heat in that sense is that like you're now wanted at level 2. So like whoever gets taken in prison is going to go for like a half a year or a year. But your heat goes back down. So you're now at just 1 heat. So for the moment, it's quiet. It doesn't make sense from a narrative perspective all that much, but from the game perspective, it does.
Yeah, well,
Our enemies are biding their time.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
That's what it is.
Wanted is scary.
Yep. Yes. So we let's now take a 5-minute break, so we can all just sort of take a deep breath. Audience, take a deep breath after everything just happened, and we'll be back very soon. So. Yeah, thank you all so much. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Hello and welcome back to the Contraband. We're excited to have you. We're excited to be here. Everyone is alive, nothing is ruined, and no one is hurt. Let's return to our game. You have just, the crew just received a bunch of coin, a bunch of heat, and a bunch of rep. They are now wanted pretty significantly by the police of Doskvol, which is just great. And we return to life. We're gonna I guess let's figure out what happened that night with our folks. So I think there's a little bit of a Bram story here. I don't know if there's like anything more we should know about what happens with that evening. Do you have any thoughts, Graham?
Decker's gonna end up with some broken furniture, I think. But other than that, the details will leave up to your imagination.
Yes, indeed. The Florencia Dietrich, wanted criminal across many nations, comes with Bram Borden back to the place, and just like the mixing of gunpowder and romance, you know how it is. Like she's like, the most of the first kissings, like both of them have weapons in their hands, you know. Kind of adds to the fun.
I guess I'll take off my leather gloves at some point.
Yeah. Amazing. So that happens. And Decker, there's maybe a moment where like you come in with her. Decker comes in he like turns on goes, "Oh, how are you, my boy?" And then like turns around and walks back into the other room. Just like completely gone. This like very tall Dagger Isles man covered in tattoos and piercings. Anything else? What are people doing after the end of that? Where are they headed?
I'm gonna do some recover actions.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Let's recover.
I guess I'll just be staying in the Queen's Magnolia.
Yeah, on the cot.
And
I'll do some work on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like night of, you're just sort of setting things up. So Aldo gets to make the roll.
Yeah. What is it? What are your maladies?
I have an electric burn on one of my legs. I have a heart arrhythmia, and I am minorly concussed.
Okay, great. So I did the roll. It's very good. I'll reveal it in a moment. But I think I'm so sorry. I realize now that was a lot of adrenaline. I should have done only a half a syringe, but let me. I want to try something, and I want your permission. And he pulls out that generator again for the acupuncture. It's similar to before, but this time I've refined it. And I think I can fix your heart.
You want to fix my heart with electricity.
Well,
the heart that has been damaged from electricity. You want to try electricity. This is my physician. I look out at the audience at home. This is my physician.
There are like three ghosts floating out on the river who are like, I don't know.
I'm like,
in Hix's dream world.
Listen, you can hear it. Feel your heart. Like you feel how it's not quite in sync, and I can get it to be the normal way. Please trust me. I can do this.
Well, Aldo, the only thing that will allow me to do this is I know that if you kill me, that you will probably kill yourself over shame. So let it rip, buddy.
All right, and I strap these things on and send one kind of micro pulse. It's pretty good, and this is what I had rolled.
Ooh, critical success. That is 5 slots on the healing clock. So I think we have a frozen Ben, but I think the electricity.
No, he's speechless. He's speechless.
Yeah. So that's 5 slots on the healing clock, which will take away the level 2 harm.
Only 2 6s?
Oh,
come on, guys.
Sorry, I didn't hear anything that y'all said for the past 20
No
seconds.
worries.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you're good. I'll type it and say it. He rolled a critical success on the healing, which gives you 5 slots on the thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
You're
Yep.
welcome.
So you're back
So
to
that
2
just
level
like-
1 harms.
Wow, this stuff really does work.
See, I told you. I just needed every time that we work
You're
together.
welcome.
Yes. A little more, a little further. Science gets better. I help my
Great.
friends.
Nice.
Great.
That's
Okay,
pretty
so
good,
this
yeah.
level 1 harm, I'm going to call it puncture wounds from treatment, I guess.
Great. Love it.
Yeah, it's going to be sore for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Anything else that happens that evening,
Great.
either for Varric or the girl?
I would not be remiss to a recovery roll myself, actually.
Sure.
Next.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down in Aldo's lap and pull out my right hand. It still hurts.
What is it again?
It got stepped on while we were.
Oh gosh, Aldo just like squishes into it, and he's like, "Oh come on, this is going. It's fine."
It's okay. No, it's delicate.
And he wraps it with like kind of a soaked a bandage and goes, "Look, someone stepped on your hand. It's not a big deal, okay?" And,
I got electrocuted as well.
so did I. So what?
I don't think it's good for you.
I mean, ask Hix. It's pretty good for him. And I roll a 6.
Nice. 3 slots. Aldo is
This is my
going on
night.
Yeah.
This is
Switch.
all right. That clears up my progress clock as well.
Nice. Amazing.
So is my called by the tides now a level 1 harm?
Yep. Yeah, it's now level 1 harm, and the other 2 are gone.
Okay.
So the level 1 harm should be called Echo of the Tides.
Echo of the tides.
Oh.
Yep. So.
Okay. Yeah,
Ooh,
Varric just kind of
magical
looks.
name.
Varric just looks off into the corner every now and then. What?
Yeah. Yeah, just feeling a little bit weird. I really like the idea of like, I think Varric is not this much of a wimp, but I like the idea of having a character in Blades where when you give them harm, like they're such a wimp that it's like, someone shoved me, level 1 harm.
Isn't that some of how like doesn't social harm, because you can take social harm
Yes,
as well, right?
yes,
Like,
you can
it's
take
like
social harm.
feelings hurt. They were mean
yeah.
to me. Like
Yeah, she scowled at me. Yeah.
My fly was down. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That'll
level
be
3
season
harm,
2.
indecently exposed in front of
Yes. Yeah, totally. Anything else on the very night following the event? What's the girl doing?
I think the girl, as soon as they kind of like come to the sandbar and dock, she limps away. She's going to sort of like take a few evasive maneuvers to make sure she's not being followed or tracked, and then she'll make her way to William's house. Yeah.
Right. Is he awake when you get there? Or do
I
you
mean,
wake him up
probably
to talk?
not. He's
Yeah,
pretty
pretty late at this point.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll slip in. I'll sort of try and bandage myself up, although I know I can't do a healing roll by myself. But I'm trying
Yeah.
to sort of bandage myself up as best I can.
Cool.
If only to keep blood off the nice sheets. And
Mhm.
I'll go to bed.
Yeah. If you want to, I think this could be reasonable that you could treat William as a like tier 1 healer. Like you could go to him for a recovery roll and he could treat you, but he would only get 1 die. Whereas
Sure.
Aldo has 2 or 3. You have 3 now, Aldo?
I have the 2.
Because you
I have
you
Tinker.
roll tinkers, right?
Right, and then +1 die. Everyone gets +1 die to their healing treatment rolls. So would that also include this just as a benefit? That seems weird narratively, but
Yeah, if she's specifically choosing to do it without you, I think not necessarily. But,
Okay. Yeah.
But if that's how you want to play it, Kristen.
Yeah, I do. I think the next morning, William notices I'm there.
Uh-huh.
And William, I was hoping. I got shot last night at the leg.
Oh my God. Can I see it? What happened? Are you all right?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm feeling like maybe I got in over my head a little bit.
Did that boy Templeton shoot you?
Hix, no. I don't think Hix ever would shoot me. Also not a boy. Some people aren't. But anyways.
Sorry. Yes.
If you could maybe pull out the bullet, I'm a little worried about infection and.
Goodness gracious! And despite William's sort of tendency towards like hyperventilation, he's extremely calm at the sight of blood. He's not sitting there fainting. Like, he can take it, but it's just the idea of you being hurt that just absolutely like makes him wild. So he, you like get yourself, like into whatever situation where you can like go roll up your pants and see and they're just like soaked with blood. He's gonna make a tinker roll to attempt to heal you. That's a 4, so that's gonna move you up 2 slots on the clock.
And as he does, I'm gonna sort of I'll say, William,
Yes.
Security around here. I know you have the gate. Have you thought about changing the locks or raising the gate, the fence line maybe, or I don't know, employing someone?
We should. I told Tom that I would get new locks, and I told you that I would get new locks, and I'll do it. There's a lockmaker in Charter Hall who I can go to. I don't know about the fence, but why do you ask?
I'm just worried this group has drawn the attention of some very powerful people. And they all seem like they have nothing to lose and no one that they care about, but I do.
Well, I can't exactly say that you're not following in our footsteps. Not that Tom or I are not that we're your parents, but he was getting into trouble with many people. Should I stay in Doskvol?
I think we should consider maybe not. For now, please get the locks, and I'll put a coin on the table, and I'll slip out of there.
Yeah, that's this like little satchel of coins with like blood on it, and he takes it and gives you a kiss on the cheek before you leave.
And as I walk out the door, I say, "New locks, new locks." And
Yes, I'll get them. Yes, I'll get the locks. Great. Yeah. Anything else with anyone for that evening?
I think after Florencia and Bram have shared a cigar, and I'm not sure exactly. Like, I think Bram is definitely watching her to see what this, the aftermath is going to take, what sort of emotional turn it might take. But Bram is getting loaded again. He's drinking heavily in the aftermath of this.
Right.
Ramping up for a downtime action.
Love it. She says to him, like, she smokes and drinks with him and is like pretty quiet after. Like, she's very friendly, and afterwards, it's not like she doesn't turn sullen or anything. But at one point she's smoking and looks at him and says, "Why are you not in politics?" I don't mean like those assembly folk you have here. I mean, why are you not at the salons? Why are you not rioting? Why are you not organizing?
He's not quite drunk enough to respond freely. But he gets kind of quiet, head turns down a bit. Then after a long silence, he says,
I used to take it very seriously. I paid for it. I lost almost everything I had because I kept my mouth too free. I should have been quieter. I don't know. It's been a long time. Not that I don't care. I support the cause, but sometimes when you've got nothing left, you have to look for something else to drive you.
and he's kind of like, listlessly looking out at the night, whatever, maybe if we're in Silk Shore.
Silk Shore? Yeah. Silk
If
Shore.
we're in Silk Shore, I'm like looking out at the boats kind of moving about.
Mhm.
And yeah, just this sense that what he has found to replace politics clearly is not, it's not really fulfilling him. But his words don't say as much.
Yeah. She just says, it's clear to me, seeing the way that you do many things, that there is a man of passion there, and not just passion in the brutal sense of animals. You're a man, and men must act. They are no longer men.
What about you? You left a lot behind. Have any family?
Where was the place she came from again?
Bavary.
Bavary.
It's a neighboring sort of nation, sort of part of the empire, similar to Catalan. She says,
You've got a family in Bavary?
they would not call themselves my family, and that's okay, because that means that they are not punished, and it means that I have the freedom to do as my conscience tells me. But yes, I miss them. I miss my sister and her daughter. I do not mean to cast judgment on you. It is difficult, but I see you as a peer.
He just kind of shakes his head, keeps his thoughts to himself, continues smoking.
Yeah, great. She doesn't push it any further.
Ooh, though, man, that just privately, that hurts him.
Yeah. She's one of those characters who you're just like, oh, it just she just bubbles up. She's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the meta. Okay, let's move back into the game. So, you all over the next few months start hearing some rumors, and the first day after this happens, there is a headline in the papers. The newspapers explode the next day. They declare Railjacks decapitate ministry negotiator. There is a sketch provided of a headless body, which the news declares the ministry recovered from an ignominious end. Board members of the Ministry of Preservation, including Mara Hardenbrook, made statements condemning the violence and promising that the city's primary goal is feeding and supplying the city. Numerous publications joined the board in these condemnations, with one calling Ruthus Enjim Doskvol's savior and the Railjacks selfish louts. There were certainly people opposing those ideas in the smaller papers, but they're drowned out by the general consensus. Dropping these rumors as usual in our Discord. Following these, Andre Morland, one of the major Blue Coat lieutenants, made a statement that a nameless group of political dissidents and criminals encouraged the violence perpetrated by the Railjacks. They do not have names of the individuals involved, though they have suspects, and asked the people of Doskvol for help gathering evidence in their search. They mentioned that there is a helpful witness that has been provided to them by the ministry, a reformed gang member from a crew that had once called itself the Foghounds. The Bluecoats are offering coin for those willing to help. So,
say that again.
yeah, there is an informant that the Bluecoats now have a hold of, who they say they got from the ministry, who it says that they were formerly a member of the Foghounds, a gang who you guys fought and mostly eradicated
to extinction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Team meeting.
Let me just raise the stakes here a little bit more with a next rumor. The Velvet Patchworks announced their latest play, The Forgotten District, a drama by Medley Everett. Previews begin in 2 weeks.
Yes! Bram auditioned for this play and did not hear back.
Enthusiastic thanks. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, jeez.
Be in touch.
There is a very minor news about some gang violence in Ravensfoot. A lieutenant of the Ravens or Crows named Hannah, who is notable for a dragon tattoo on her face, was killed in a bar fight in Six Towers. Rumor has it that she and her gang tried to make a move on a gang that is in control of a portion of Six Towers, and a gang of men in gray cloaks fought her back and killed her in the process. So yeah, those are the major rumors that are going on in your world right now. We are now dropped back into.
I would like to start a long-term project.
Heck, yes. It's one of my favorite phrases from Hix. What's the project?
I would like to frame. I want to make it look like everything that we've been doing has been for the Ravens.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And Lyssa
is masterminding it. Yeah. Yeah.
Since we were I mean, we didn't even get a name for our crew. We still don't have a name for our crew.
Yeah.
But I was expecting that we would have a relationship with the Ravens, then the Crows, sort of similar to the relationship that the Foghounds were having with
the Lampblacks.
Who were the Ravens fighting? The Lampblacks. So yeah, I thought that we were going to start a long-term relationship with the Crows, but then she changed the name to the Ravens and cut us out as soon as we had eliminated helped them eliminate the Lampblacks. So because Lyssa pissed me off and because we need to shake off some of this heat, I think it'd be really cool if one of the Ravens went to jail for all the shit that we've been doing.
That is extremely possible. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So cool. I think.
So I'm going to walk around. I'm just going to be doing my rounds, consorting with my regular homies, and telling them that everything that we've been doing has been for the Ravens.
Amazing. Do you have a person? Is it Lyssa specifically?
Start dressing like the Ravens. No, I'm not going to talk to Lyssa.
Oh, no, sorry. Are you framing
I'm just going to be speaking loudly in. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, if Lyssa could go to jail, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, we're gonna get a big war.
Good work, though.
War is the natural state of things.
Yes, I was like, I
Politics
thought we moved some
is
boxes.
War.
Yeah.
There's only not war when there is an active component preventing it.
I mean, Lyssa really is pretty big. I think perhaps, I mean, I don't know if, perhaps I'll check up on Baldwin, the old dog who was the OG Crow who liked the old leader of the Crows, perhaps him. I mean, I'd even be willing to throw Pascal under the bus since he hasn't called at all.
That's true.
As if our relationship was
Ow.
only professional.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't like he's just gonna do what his boss says and not even hit us up once in a while to like get a drink and say hey. Like
He
I
doesn't
don't
even
know, man. I feel like he chose
doesn't even
his
like
side,
her.
and I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care who I frame as long as it's someone who's not us. And the Ravens are a obvious target in my mind.
Totally. Yeah, I dig it. That's sweet.
Great. So basically my plan for this is to First step is to identify the person, which will be a mid-level lieutenant who would be giving orders to cohorts of the Ravens, and make it seem as if they have been telling us everything to do. So I feel like this would probably be study,
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I mean, probably study. I mean, I only have one die in it, but that's okay. We'll take it slow. Rolled a 5. Oh, how many
Great.
parts is this clock?
So you wanted the 2 parts to be finding the person and then framing them?
However many parts it takes. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that it would be identifying a person who to frame and then framing them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think with the 5. Yeah, so let's do a 4-part clock for identifying the person and a 6-part clock for framing them. Yeah?
Right.
So the 4-part for finding them, you get some information. So the leadership of the Ravens. So the Ravens is they are a descendant of kind of one of the oldest and best known gangs of Doskvol, the Crows. The Crows were formerly led by Varric, who is a respected and feared sort of godfather, but he was murdered and replaced by Lyssa, who it is suspected may have murdered him. She then led a war against the Lampblacks, which she was able to win, largely with the help of you guys. And they then changed their name to the Ravens because, I don't know, image issues. And they now are trying to sort of get control of Crow's Foot, which they're trying to get called Raven's Foot. It's a big PR mess. So in terms of leadership, you are familiar with Lyssa, who's the main leader. You're familiar with Pascal, also called the Silver Knife, who's been your buddy, and who you think is probably sort of the best. He's your best connection, and someone you know rather well. Baldwin, who's sort of one of the old dogs. It looked like his connection with Lyssa was not great, but he's probably still in a position of at least some leadership because of his connection with Pascal. Hannah was a major captain who you had met and worked with, but she, just died. Very inconvenient. And there are 2 other captains of the gang. Who are Sileth, Sileth. She's an Al-Kebulani woman who's a long time. She came in pretty early on with Lyssa, they're pretty close. And then Tolok, Toloch, is a Tykerosi lieutenant of the Crows who's very new. Ravens. He's just risen to his rank of lieutenant. So those are the 4 major lieutenants of the Ravens currently. So that's 2 ticks on the 4-part clock. Getting to the full point, I think, will basically give you some information about the kinds of stuff you could use to potentially, ways that you could angle to potentially frame them more effectively, I think.
Okay, cool. Can I just spend 1 coin right now and roll again?
Yeah.
This time I want to roll a survey to glean the fallout of what this could be.
Sure.
To kind of project ahead, and that is a 6.
Ooh, yes. So fallout of what could happen from framing a Raven lieutenant? Yeah, so I think
I have an idea already, but I'd like to have some specifics.
Sure. If you you could tell me your idea and I could expand upon it and confirm or deny it, or do you want me to just say some things first?
I mean, my idea is that they're going to retaliate against us. I don't know that they're going to be pissed.
Yeah. Well, that would probably depend on there would probably be a clock that would come up during actions to be the question of whether or not they're noticing what you're doing. You know, because you could do this in a way that they wouldn't even know, potentially, if you're lucky. So I'll probably start a clock about...
Yeah, all the better.
Yeah. I think in terms of, those are the potential consequences for you. They could retaliate against you. Your relationship could become worse with them and, potentially get to the point where they're trying to cause you harm. The other consequence, not necessarily for you, but, of interest, is that you could potentially, if you destabilize the Ravens enough, you could pit Crowsfoot into another civil war with itself. And basically, that would be if you can get Lyssa out of the way for a year being behind bars, Pascal could potentially take back control of the Ravens and sort of do it in the old style, which may or may not be what you want, depending on what Pascal can do for you or whatever. If Pascal goes to jail, that means the old dogs of the Crows and Ravens will probably have very little protection from Lyssa and her and the ways that she's doing things, which could lead to an escalation of her strategies, which could be, which they've been training really hard. It could lead to a more militant and sort of actively expanding Ravens, or could lead to a more combustible one that's going to fall apart. It's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen there, but those are some things that could happen for the Crows. Yeah.
Great. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and fill in that clock since I rolled a 6. It's only a 4-part clock.
Yes, it is full.
And I'm going to identify that I wish to frame Lyssa and get her the picture.
Yep. Yeah, I think we'll probably, since she's the leader of the Crows, we'll make it an 8-part clock, so a slightly more complex job. But I think it can be quite...
Love it. This is why I maintain liquid assets, so I can sell this bitch up river right now.
Yeah, make your moves. Sweet. Great. So those are a couple data actions with Hix. He's after just getting amazing medical treatment from Aldo, that just in the course of a night he was like, I'm dead. Oh no, I'm actually okay.
Actually, I'm going to frame the leader of the Ravens.
yeah. Hix is just all right, let's freaking do this. I'm back.
That sounds right.
Yep. Yeah, this is some old school Hix. I love it. Yeah, Aldo loves it too, I'm sure. Yeah. So what are other people up to in terms of downtime?
Well, before the next morning, Marlane hears Bram shouting outside her window.
Yeah. Great. Yep. And she
say, come out here right now. I want to talk to you. Got a bout to pick, you and I.
Yep. She eventually, it actually is she's sleeping super soundly. A neighbor of hers comes to her apartment and you hear the neighbor, this old woman in these fluffy slippers, knocking on the door saying, Miss Marlane, there's a gentleman trying to see you.
Marlane!
And Marlane, your erstwhile lover, eventually stumbles down the stairs. She's wearing a bathrobe and has some trousers on underneath it, and is what's wrong? It's 9 a.m. It's practically the middle of the night.
I want to talk to you.
Yeah, so
I don't think you have been treating me very well. You've been cold. You've been difficult.
He's got a bottle in his hand.
Yeah. She's like, oh yeah. Is that what you think?
Yeah, and I don't think I need to take it anymore. I think that you owe me an apology.
Yeah.
I'm a man of action. And right now, my action is to tell you that I don't deserve this.
Love it. Marlane is going to attempt to break your nose in the street.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, so with you being slightly, with her, we've kind of been treating her as tier 2, so she gets to make a first move. So you have to just make a resist on this immediately. On this attack.
I think he's
you.
too drunk to resist.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take
So
the
she
harm.
just like, boom, like this, she's, this. You wouldn't always expect this from her, but you know her. You know she's a great fist fighter. So she just like, pulls up her sleeve and just like clocks him across the face. You like feel this like snap and
Bram
just-
goes like off his feet, like hits it, knocks into like some shipping crate or something that's in the alley.
Oh, amazing. Yes. Yeah, and she like just sort of descends slowly downward. She's barefoot. She's like, sorry. So, you wanted me to apologize to you? Was that it? Huh? Yeah. Okay. I see. She grabs you by the collar and like lifts you up, and then, like sniffs a little bit at you, and she's like, first of all, you've been shooting someone last night, and second of all, you a fucking woman. The fucking woman, Bram.
I found someone who respects me.
Wonderful. She's gonna want to punch you again, but I don't want to just like immediately give her the roll. Do you want to like make a roll to try and do something against her?
I mean, Bram is provoking her. His
Yes.
intent is that she beats
Yes.
the crap out of him.
Yes.
So
Oh my god.
this is by the way,
This is your
vice.
trauma of. Oh, this is your vice. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's
Amazing.
my intent is that Bram is losing control and basically wants her to knock him out so that he can sleep.
Yes, absolutely.
This is how he
Woo.
relieves stress.
This is what we call healthy behavior.
And by the way, I'm sure this is not the first time this has happened with Marlane. That like
Yes.
this is just them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So she, I think I don't want to just like keep giving him too much harm. But I think we probably say he ends up with what, a level 1 harm. Does that seem reasonable? Or
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
because this is the indulged vice, so I don't want to like play it too much of like you're
Yeah.
actually getting harmed. But I think the fact, I think we have to have some cost for it narratively.
Right.
So just like bruised, level
Great.
1 harm. Great. But yeah, so like she ends up like she like smacks you against these crates, and there's a point where like this is in public. I mean, this neighbor comes down and is like, "Oh goodness gracious, but please stop!" And our Marlane is like, "It's all right, everything's under control." Boom.
Yeah, and as she's hitting him, Bram is sharing some lurid details about his night with Florencia, which I will spare the audience, but he's really twisting the knife.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And there's like a point where like a boat comes by and some people are like loading some crates and they're like watching this happen. And there's just like this young girl who just works on this boat who's just like watching in surprise. And this like older man who's like equally just stunned as this is happening. And eventually like they just keep working on it. And in the final moment, like when it's all done and she's like smacked your face against the bricks, she just like throws you into the water of the canal next to her house.
Oh.
Okay, and yeah, and Bram will like wash up somewhere else in Silk Shore,
Oh my
unconscious, and get some
Yes.
sleep. Now can I roll to relieve my stress?
You certainly can. Oh man. Yes.
Okay, so I
Love it.
roll. I always forget how to do this.
You roll your lowest attribute, which is 3
Yep.
for you, right? So,
Yep.
Right.
And then it's the highest die, which
Yep.
is a 6.
Amazing.
Okay,
Awesome.
I'm down to 1 stress.
Great.
Also, I added the harm.
Great. Cool. Yeah, that's whew. Oh yeah, so you just like completely it's like laying and like the waters are sort of washing over you like a little bit
So
like a
funny.
blanket.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'll sleep like 4 hours there and then eventually stumble back to the
Shallow
Orcus,
pool.
Oh my gosh. Where are you stumbling back to?
to the Orcus Tooth.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so it's out in the middle of nowhere. They've parked it. They're trying to hide it for a couple days.
Maybe I wash up onto one of the like boats, or even the rough penny, and then you ride it out to the Orcus too.
Love it. That's great. That's fantastic. Cool. Wow. Yeah, that's indulge in your vice. Love it. Okay, so what's next? What else are people up to?
I would like to gather everyone together in the Queen's Magnolia, one of the nights that everyone's recovered, and I'd like to mention everybody. Good to see you all. So
really quick, can I interrupt really quick? Sorry. What does reaching out to the girl look like, and what does the girl? How does the girl respond to being reached out to?
I would imagine reaching out to the girl. The only other place outside, like being on scores together, that he knows to find her, is either the Velvet Patchwork's dressing room or going back around to William and Tom's house. So he's gonna basically just slide a note under the door at the Velvet Patchwork's place, saying, "Hey, meet at the Queen's Magnolia," and then he's gonna write Jill, and then cross that out, and then Tess, and then cross that out, and then just leave like the to who blank.
Great. Wonderful. And so, I mean, well, never mind. I'm just thinking it would be funny that the Patricks would be like, "You mean you're looking for Mary Beth?"
Yeah, the one you did right.
Anyway, but yeah, how does the girl respond?
I mean, I think she'll take the note and spend the day waffling. But like 10 minutes before they're supposed to meet, she'll put down her work and head over.
Gotcha. So yeah, there's like a few minutes where you guys are waiting. I mean, I don't know how quickly people actually arrive. I assume everyone's late, but there's probably one where most everyone's there and the girl arrives last.
Good. You've made it. Now, that's the sort of thing that won't be allowed to happen on the night of the event. So, something that I think that all of us should know about. We have been invited to a masquerade.
Sorry, what?
A masquerade. A chance.
Bram's face is covered in bruises.
To introduce ourselves to the highest reaches of society. It could not happen at a better time. All of us will be there. We'll get a chance to meet the most important and influential people in the city. We will find jobs. We will be able to tell our families that we have done better than they ever expected we could.
I'm sorry. Why would we want to meet the most influential people in this godforsaken city?
Seems like we've already done that once.
Yes, but we want to meet them because we want them to hire us. We got those paintings from the Keltry Sisterhood, right? No getting attacked by electroplasmic monsters in the streets when doing jobs for them. No, we don't have to deal with all of this other stuff. It would be better for all of us, I think, if we work with a higher class of clientele and don't have to deal with, all of the odd jobs we've been doing up till now.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yes, see, Bram. Oh, you face. Never mind. It's fine. We'll be in masks. You'll be all right.
Fight. Yeah, I'll be wearing a mask.
I assumed you were in a fight. Yes, I met you before.
So who's invited us? Or did they just invite you and give you a +5?
Did they just invite me and give me a +5? I think we are. Carol invited all of us, right? So
Carol, very nice.
You were there, Bram.
Yeah, it's been a while.
This dude slept in a canal.
That's right. I remember. He's very fancy bloke.
Yes, my friend.
Been seeing the princess.
What?
Allegedly, this is neither here
Yeah,
nor there.
alleged by him.
Yes, alleged by him.
Anyway,
yes.
it's neither here nor there.
Well, she might even be there. I mean, Carol is very well connected. It's remarkable the people that he finds to attend these things. So I think it is in all of our best interests to attend this. I don't see why there's any pushback.
What about keeping a low profile? No, I thought that was part of the point.
It's a masquerade. They won't see who we are.
That's true.
There's something to be said for doing a social call, keeping ourselves off the streets for a little bit. And if we can leverage this into a little more coin, we can certainly use that to defend ourselves against any further aggression on the part of the ministry.
We need as much coin as we can get. We can't seem to quite get ahead fast enough.
If we do this, you all promise not to, I don't know, brag about your identity as the princess in order to impress her, or...
I'll never brag about anything.
I mean, you don't have a lot to brag about.
Oh. Ooh,
That's cold.
that was cold.
Did I do something to you?
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned that Ruthus now knows who we are, who I am, that he might trace it back to people I care about. Does this not concern you?
Certainly. That's why I want more cash, so we can defend ourselves, defend the people we care about. Don't think you're the only one who has people.
I think that it is very concerning that Ruthus has shown an interest in us. I do not appreciate it. I would also like to find out more about what he might know and what information he might have about our our activities, and this would be a perfect opportunity to perhaps rub some elbows, see what we can find out, you know?
There are people connected with him, I would assume, at this party, not to mention we could perhaps if we could have a few people owing us favors, that might be very useful for us.
If we do this, I'm creating the masks and the costumes because I don't trust any of you with a needle and thread.
What?
Oh,
Well,
wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest.
Honestly, this sounds like it should be something right up your alley, being somebody that you're not.
I won't lie, I do like the idea of wearing a mask.
Yes.
I have some ideas already for what it might look like.
And I've been working on a character. I did an audition for the Velvet Patchworks. Now, they didn't seem to appreciate it, but I've got someone in mind that I can play.
You didn't tell me you were going. I wanted to go with you.
Well, I mean...
I would have been in the... I would have, woo, in the audience at your audition.
Yeah, but not at an audition. I don't
Why?
think.
Why not? Is it?
I don't know.
Is that not okay?
I mean, I clapped for myself after I finished my audition, and I didn't seem to like that very much.
I think that might be frowned upon.
Strange bunch.
I mean, they weren't doing it.
Very weird, though. They seem
Anyway,
to love it.
I'm gonna be playing a character. I've got it already.
And who? Who's the character?
The character that I'll be playing. He's well, his name is Theodorus Brussels, and he's a courtier. And he kind of talks like this. Hello, my name is Theodorus. I'm very posh.
Oh my gosh. Do we all need characters this good?
I thought that was the idea.
I think that will be. I will have to start thinking to maybe girl, help
Yes.
us make some characters perhaps. Who can I be? Who can I be?
All right. Well, is there anyone you've ever thought I would like to be like this person, or I aspire to be more proud? Perhaps. Well, maybe not for you. I aspire to be more gentle, more soft and loving, caring, little more.
I think I am enough of that, of course.
Perhaps.
Someone.
Perhaps you with a different accent. Your accent's a little distinctive.
Yes, I have been practiced. In fact, Bram, you remember on the job I did you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't very good, but
I thought he seemed to buy it. I mean, before you punched him in the face.
Can I hear?
Oh yes. Okay.
It's a little embarrassing.
No, I think I can do it. Hello. Hey,
Stop!
Scotty.
No!
No, I think. Give 1 second. Let me get into it. Fuck.
So Bram will be Varric. Aldo will be Bram. Perhaps Varric, you can try Hix. Or...
Yes, well, I'm not sure sprinting half naked through the Masquerade, attacking people with chair legs is going to give quite the right impression.
Right.
It's just a thought.
Well, we'll work on it.
Yes. Well,
When is it? When is it? How much time do we have?
Ted, when is it?
A little while.
Yeah, right.
We've got some time. We've got a little time. I just wanted. Yeah.
It's right around the corner, but it's you got some time.
I was going to suggest we all go shopping for masks, but if you're interested in making them for us,
You have designs you would like?
Oh, well, I like to browse and see what takes my fancy as far as inspiration.
I would like an animal.
Yes. We could have some sort of unifying theme of an animal.
I mean, do we want to be a unified group, though? Because again, there's 5 of us. That's a distinct number. They seem to know certain things about us. And, there are apparently people we care about. And I'll look pointedly to Bram.
Bram just blows smoke at the group.
With the Bruce.
I love it. Yeah. So you get Kiro probably mentioned to you at some point that he said something to the effect of you'll need a cover. The mask will help, of course, but to get onto the guest list, you'll need to be guests of someone, preferably guests of several others. Varric, I can vouch for you and perhaps one other, but bringing 4 strangers might be irregular.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention this yet to anyone.
Sure. It's really good to have covers of some kind. So your sort of talk continues, and we'll actually jump back into this conversation about masks and a little bit of not about masks in the pandemic sense. Everyone's tired of that discussion. But in this game discussion,
fun masks, just the top half of the face, none of the bottom half. No one's covering any of the bottom half. Just the top.
Exactly. It's the opposite. But we are actually going to end a little bit earlier this evening. We're having a couple technical issues on our end, nothing crazy, but yeah. So this is one of the rare episodes that doesn't end with like a disastrous cliffhanger. Instead, it's people laughing about masks and like a fade out of friendship.
A delightful cliffhanger.
Yes.
Can't wait for the ball.
Yes, it'll be really fun. So thank you all so much for watching tonight. We would love for you to follow or subscribe if you are interested in the content that we are producing. We're having so much fun making it, and so glad to have all you people in the chat responding. It's just been really delightful. So thank you. We'll be back next week. You should tune into Zoa Stardust on Sunday at 10:30 Central. And I don't think there's any new streams coming up for a couple of weeks. That's right, Graham?
Yeah, we don't have anything new. I think we're announcing. We're like pretty much on course with our current, with Zoa on Sundays, Contraband on Fridays, and Green Room on
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Yes, and we also just had Hot Guys Making Out last weekend. That was fun.
Oh man, please go watch the VOD of that right now. It is so fun.
Yeah, it was great. So are we doing? We're not doing a raid. Doing a raid?
Oh,
no.
We can toss one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
we will be we'll be sending all of you from our audience to
Spread
another.
the love.
We'll
spreading
go
the
to
love.
the Venture Maidens.
Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome. Great. So we'll jump in there and just say hello and be enthusiastic. And we'll see you all very soon. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and see you next week on The Contraband.
Bye.